I guess we got a few little things today. I don't know that we have a whole bunch, but before we get started, we are going to allow some people to enter into the room and give our updates.
Yes, indeed. So, as we always say, stay stacking, stay stacking, stay stacking. Your ounces, your toshis, and anything else you may be invested in. And that's a good thing to know because that's part of some of the things we're going to be talking about today. You know, that will could affect your investments depending upon how you are allocated. So yeah, she said we're gonna wait for people to pile in the room. First thing, just on a jovial point, everybody is happy Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? May 4th and 5th. So you guys enjoy yourself. You see, I got my Mexico jersey on, so I'm representing Cinco de Mayo.
Mexico doesn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo, but okay.
Yeah, so and then we talked about that a little bit. It's the Puebla and the Maroons. Maroons are really black people who saved that from the army of Napoleon Bonaparte. So
And for
check
my
that
Star
out.
Wars junkies,
Check
may
that
the
out.
4th be with you.
Oh, that's pretty weak, but it's okay. That's pretty weak,
That is
but
big with Star Wars people.
that sounds like a Big
And
Bang Theory.
yes, them too. May the 4th be with you. I love Big Bang Theory.
Mm. All right. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about some basic stuff that we've gone over before, but there's some new updates as far as things that's going on with silver and gold, as far as price movement and production and what's coming out of the ground, which is always important because that affects price movement. We got some things on Bitcoin. I forget if I could pull it up, but we will talk about that as well. Other than that, it's been an easy breezy weekend. Bitcoin prices,
Oh, I didn't check
it's
it.
okay. We have talked about this. Uh,
Hold on, let's check it. Cause
Very interesting chart I seen on Twitter from Raoul Powell, and just said that the 20% retracement 4 times has happened over 2012, 2016, 17, 2018, and 2020 and 2024. You see these large retracements. I don't have the chart right now. I can pull it up. Can we share our screen?
no,
We can't share our screen today.
please no.
It's just a chart.
Wait. What did you do though?
It'd be no audio.
No,
It's
no,
just a
no, no,
chart.
no. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Just hit.
Why did you hit that though?
I'm trying to move back. Okay. I just pull up Twitter for me if you don't mind. While we get people in the room. Sorry, we free.
L1L is in the
What's
room.
up,
Hello,
L1L?
cousin.
So
Cousin Rue never has trouble sharing his screen. No, he's not live.
I was like, all right, let's go.
Hey, that's us right now
All right, real time.
in real time.
This is
Thank you so much. And go keep an eye on Tino Bino. His room is a mess. I'm gonna come in here and clean it up when we're done shooting.
so yeah, it's not.
We can do that, baby.
Here we go. So this is a nice chart we got from Plan B.
Oh, let me see if I can
See,
share.
so 5 month realized price action, and I'm a big fan of Plan B. Some people don't like him, and I get it. But if you look at his chart and what he has planned out, it's still tracking. It's still tracking. So it's very interesting that Plan B is still right on point. So the if you see this chart here,
But you can't. I'm sorry.
you didn't share screen.
It won't let me.
Oh man. So Bitcoin realized price action, and you see some of these 20% drops, but you see the upside here in 2012. This chart goes back to 2011, and you get the pop in 2014 and 2018. I'm sorry, guys, you can't see this, but it's tracking right on his chart all the way to 2024. So I don't know why we can't share a screen, but
I have to go into the settings and I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know why all of a sudden I don't have permission. See?
oh, okay.
So I'll deal with it another time. Let freedom ring. Hello, family. Cousin L1L would also like for you to give him some updates on XRP.
XRP. I'm not really an XRP
Aficionado.
expert or nothing like that. I know someone who is. We can get him on the show if you
But you're
like.
probably wondering why the price isn't moving, is really what I'm suspecting that you're asking. And
Yeah.
we would actually have to do homework on that. We do have XRP, but where we don't,
Yeah, it's something.
our specialty is tier one assets,
Yeah.
um, like gold and Bitcoin. So we would actually have to do our homework. And then, cousin, when I get an update, I promise I'll email you.
Yeah. So I guess we got enough people in the room. We can go into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we do. We got 23 people in the room at the 6 minute mark. It is Saturday, May 4th, 2024, in the year of our Lord. We just have a few updates. It's Saturday night. It's probably really nice where most of you guys are. So you probably want to get out and mingle and have fun and be social. So we won't keep you too long. It's 10 after 9 on the East Coast. It's only 7 here, which is why you can probably see the sun hasn't quite gone down yet.
Yeah. So let's go in with that big one about the
Fidelity.
financial. Yeah. Let's go
Okay.
with that big one there. Pause. Let's go with that one.
So for my W-2 people, if you have your 401k with Fidelity, I got some good news for you. Fidelity, a major financial services firm, says pension funds are starting to explore investing in Bitcoin, particularly after the approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds earlier this year. I do want to cite my source, Christopher Boyd, Bankroll. He was the one who posted it on Facebook and brought it to my attention. So I wanted to share it with you guys.
Shout out to Christopher Boyd.
Shout out to Christopher Boyd and the Bankroll Builders. Fidelity has been bullish on Bitcoin for years, launching its digital assets branch in 2018 and bringing a successful Bitcoin ETF to the market earlier this year. The firm's ETF attracted significant capital compared to competitors. So now Fidelity's VP of Digital Assets, Manuel Nordeste, says that the company is engaging with major pension funds and other institutional investors about allocating to Bitcoin. Speaking at a recent event, Nordeste stated, "Now we're starting to have conversations with larger, real money institutional investor types, and we're getting some of those clients as well as corporates and so on and so forth." His comments come after BlackRock also mentioned yesterday having educational conversations with pension funds regarding Bitcoin ETFs. Recent 13F filings show major pension consultants have already purchased spot Bitcoin ETFs. This mounting evidence indicates serious diligence is underway about allowing pension investments in Bitcoin vehicles like ETFs. With over $4 trillion with a T in capital, U.S. pension funds committing even a tiny portfolio allocation could drive significant inflows. While pensions remain cautious compared to family offices and hedge funds who've already bought Bitcoin exposure, their conservative mandates and focus on risk management has kept most pensions on the sidelines so far. If pensions follow the lead of early adopters, it would represent a seismic shift in mainstream acceptance. Thus far, Bitcoin ETFs have seen tremendous demand since launching this year. While this week marked record outflows, the long-term trajectory still appears highly favorable. And let the church say, amen.
So, you know, we said a lot right there. Well, she said a lot right there. But one thing that we'll take away immediately that's important about that is this is game theory playing out, right? We talk about game theory a lot. And, game theory, if people aren't familiar with game theory, it's just really the fact that if you had like since they're pension funds, all different pension funds, once one pension fund gets into Bitcoin, the other ones will follow suit. BlackRock being, I believe, the largest pension fund in the United States. Now, BlackRock got involved. Other pension funds have to get involved, right? On fear of missing out, right? And it's competition.
FOMO.
And it's competition, right? That is their competitors: Fidelity, BlackRock, what's the other one? Prudential, Charles Schwab, all these places. they're going to have to
Merrill Lynch.
start Merrill Lynch. They're going to have to start giving the option of having Bitcoin in your pension funds because there's too many. Also, there's going to have to be too many people asking questions. Well, how can I get access to Bitcoin, right? And because these are large corporations, it'll take a while. Things you got to deal with the board, right? The CEOs, you got to make a whole bunch of things. You got to make it whole with users, and so it'll take a while for Fidelity to do that. But you see that happened, and you mentioned BlackRock, right? They're having speech with BlackRock. Yeah, so they're even getting advisement from BlackRock, who has already done it and has benefited well from it. So this is game theory playing out, and you see it in different places. You'll see it in, El Salvador. You'll start to see game theory playing out. You already have Bitcoin Jungle, Bitcoin River, you know, after Bitcoin Beach. And so now people can go down to Honduras and Bitcoin friendly. You can go to Costa Rica and it's Bitcoin friendly. And this is LATAM and it'll move. And,
You think the 2 for 5 brothers gonna get some Bitcoin?
Oh, them guys still around. Yeah, 2 for 5 brothers. We used to have.
Shout out to the 2 for 5
Yeah, we
brothers
went to
in Honduras.
Belize and two
No,
for
they were
five
in
brothers.
Honduras, wasn't they?
No, it's Belize.
Belize.
Yeah. So them cats was cool. 2 for 5, man, and we had a good time down there. And Belize is a great place. It may eventually see the game theory
because
surrounded by all these things. Now, the game theory will be harder to play out in larger countries like Mexico. And United States, if you will. But what you will see is you can see some game theory playing out state by state. Like you already know, United States, Bitcoin friendly. Wyoming has been doing that. Texas is other places. So that's good. That's good to hear for you guys.
Cities, Miami, you know that you can pay your taxes.
Yeah. So sometimes you get smaller municipalities who will see to game theory. And it could go out and out and out. So it's a great thing. That's great news for Fidelity. So if anybody who has a 401k through Fidelity or your own investment portfolio through Fidelity, just be on the lookout. Keep on the lookout for that when that happens. That way you can start getting some exposure there.
So I do want to say
And one more thing, I'm not meant to cut you off. Remember when you have like Fidelity, you have like company match, then you get your Bitcoin and your company matches you. So you're getting free Bitcoin by the company matching you. Because I know a lot of people will bang on 401ks, but if you got a
employee match program.
Yeah, you got an employee match program, take advantage of it best that you can. You go to work every day, they're gonna take money out your check and put it in the 401k. What I would say is manage the portfolio and quarterly. So we talked a long time ago about your 12-week year. So quarterly, if you do have a 401k, it doesn't have to be through Fidelity, but you should call in and speak to a.
You should check on your 401k on January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, October 1st, rinse and repeat.
There you go. You have to do it.
Two, I do want to say, as far as Fidelity giving exposure to Bitcoin to the pension funds, your high 5 and 6-figure earners, you are now going to be encouraging more adoption, right? Because typically, at least I know your 6-figure earners, they're on top of their 401ks. They're on top of the investments. They're checking on what their returns are. Where's their money being invested? Like they're on top of those things. So you can absolutely be encouraging laymen. I'm gonna start calling non-coiners laymen, but non-coiners for precision of language into Bitcoin adoption via exposure through their corporate employer. So, Cousin Mo is here. Hi, Cousin Mo.
Hey, what's up?
Let freedom ring. So it'll take some time for Bitcoin to become widespread. It will take some time, but it's one of those things that it's like little by little and then suddenly. Cryptonomics. Hey, Cryptonomics. What's up, cousin?
What's up?
401ks are whack if employers don't match. Agreed.
Yeah,
I agree if they best just use a 401k as a savings account and let it grow off their matching period. No exposure to market losses and still grows nicely. Yes, I agree with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, because a lot of people bang on 401ks, like I said earlier.
But he's saying, like, if they're not going to match it, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like a little savings account, basically. Yeah. And if you want to get deeper into that, some people Robert Kiyosaki goes really deep about 401ks and how the state in trades and in Wall Street front run 401k um, investments, right? They get front run. And see if I'm explaining this right. He was saying that when the trade gets executed and there's a bad trade and a good trade, you get to pick and put where the bad trade goes and the good trade goes. And they say, this is what he says, so you might have to check it out with him, that they'll front run and put bad trades into 401ks, like teachers' pension funds. I'm talking about union stuff, like a state union fund, things like that, and they'll front run it and put it into that. And so you have in unions they have different names. Like when I was in the union, it was 457B. So it wasn't a 401k, but it was still a state pension fund, teachers, nurses.
And then when I worked at the hospital, it was a 403B.
Yeah, and so then you go up north and stuff. Up north is the Teamsters, right? So the Teamsters with the truck drivers and stuff like that. Yeah, so you gotta keep an eye on that stuff, because that's not actually your 401k. That's your pension held through your union, if you will. So yeah, so you gotta be careful out here.
Christianomics says my 401k has grown faster on its own than any other trading account. I don't trade in the 401k. Only max out on the match. That's what we're doing. And we did pretty good this year. I was shocked when the guy told me we got a 23% return.
That's decent.
So we're definitely I'm gonna definitely call let's give it a month or two.
Yeah, July.
So I can make sure that I have exposure to Bitcoin, since that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, right? As this is rolling out, if you guys have Fidelity 401k through your employer, you want to contact them, because when you're not really involved, they just kind of put you in whatever. So I want to make sure that I have exposure to Bitcoin, utilizing my 401k and my employer match. And I'll probably do that Q3, July 1st. That should be more than enough time.
Yeah, right, July 1st.
Okay. Cousins. There's 33 cousins in the room. It's the 17-minute mark of the show.
All right.
Moving on.
All right.
Do you want me to read the article?
No, I think I got it. I don't know.
You just said your house was blurry.
Yeah, I don't know where my readers went.
That's
I
why I
haven't
said
seen no
I
guide on it. But let me see how it looks. So it says through CNBC. The CNBC, this article was written 3 days ago. So I just found it yesterday. I would have had it on the last show. Fed notes why hundreds of U.S. banks may be at risk of failure. So that's a problem. So that we got to be ready for this. Hundreds of small and regional banks across the U.S. are feeling stressed. You could see some of the banks either fail or at least, dip below their minimum capital requirements. Christopher Wolf, managing director and head of North American banks at Fitch Ratings, told NBC. So that's the problem. Let's stop right there before I go on. So I don't know what banks people use. I know a lot of people like to use small banks, like in there. Regional, as he said, small like credit unions and things like that to help you buy your house and things like that. And then you got your tier 1 banks, your 4 tier 1 banks that people use. But these are affecting small banks. And especially with one of the most important things he said was that banks dip below their minimal capital requirements. And that's what happens is you see that bank dip, and then that's when a bigger bank could just come in and suck you up. And so we got to keep our eye out on this, okay? I don't know where people bank. I don't know how people bank. But if you have smaller banks, just be ready that you could see these bank failures. So what else is important here? So the majority of banks are smaller lenders with less than 10 billion in assets. So most of these banks aren't insolvent or even close to insolvent. They're just stressed. Brian Graham's the co-founder.
I feel that way. I'm not insolvent. I'm just stressed.
The co-founder and partner of Claros Group told CNBC. That means there'll be fewer bank failures, but it doesn't mean that communities and customers don't get hurt by that stress. Yeah, so I'll pass it over. So that's a problem. That's a problem in our communities, small communities. If you have your home loan through these kind of banks, your car loan, credit cards and things like that. You can't have bank failures, and and they do that stuff. I've had things transferred over. Remember when something got transferred over to Citibank from it was a bank called Laredo National Bank. Laredo National Bank was a bank in Texas, came out of Laredo, Texas, and I had got a car loan. This back when I was like 20 years old, and I had got a car loan there. And so, I'm paying Laredo National Bank. That's what I'm paying. And then all of a sudden, I get a thing in the mail that says it says it's been transferred over to City Group. And I said, what? What? How? I was dealing with Laredo National Bank, and this is the kind of things that happen when Laredo National Bank kind of it went insolvent. So you got to be careful to try to turn your loans over to new banks and things that you may have written in your contract may not still apply. For example, I don't want to say too much, but sometimes people, older people will retire and they have what we call an indemnity written into their home, where if you like, for example, like your parents had 15-year loan in like a community.
And then the year number 3, it went from Wachovia to
but the indemnity written into Wachovia is if you pass away, the mortgage is done, right? It don't matter.
Mortgage, it was insured in a way where if one of the spouses passed away, the house is automatically paid off. But when it got transferred to Wells Fargo, they lost that indemnity agreement. Thank God nobody passed away.
But that's the things they could write in that you have written into your contract, and then when it goes to a new bank, that's no longer in your contract, and you had no say so.
And you probably picked the bank for that reason. But moving on, Graham noted that communities would likely be affected in ways that are more subtle than closures or failures. Banks choosing not to invest in such things as new branches, technological innovations, or even new staff. So you stuck with that mean teller, y'all. For individuals, the consequences of small bank failures are more indirect. Directly, there's no consequence if they're below the insured deposit limits, which are quite high now at $250,000.
Yeah.
If a failing bank is insured by the FDIC, they claim all depositors will be paid, but we have seen that that's not true.
That's not true.
We've seen that's not true. When we say experience, we didn't personally experience it, but we saw that when the banks were failing in was that quarter 1 or was it before that?
That's last year. You talking about
that was
SLV?
2023 and stuff. Yeah, not all depositors got paid. So we know that that's not true. It's cap, big cap.
I just knew you're gonna have trouble with it.
It's just getting in my mouth.
I know. And so this is one of the things we're talking about: bank failures, and Bitcoin is about being your own bank, and that's what we try to do. They make you jump through hoops to make it happen.
And the risk now is extremely high in a situation where your money's supposed to be safe in this institution. And it's just as risky as leaving your money at the daggone casino at this point, right? So these are some of the things we want to kind of be on top of. Notice the words they're using. When media is propaganda, right? And we're teaching this. You got to remember that nation states, let's say that, they spend billions of dollars in psychological market research in ways to understand how they can manipulate your thinking, manipulate your behavior, try to have insight on how to forecast your behavior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We also know that the dollar's only value is the trust that the people have in it.
Yes.
All of that is just crumbling. It's crumbling right before our eyes, right? So you can't trust the dollar, and if you can't trust the dollar, you certainly can't trust the institution that the dollar is supposed to be held in. If you're listening to the language of the article, they said things, and I quote, "The banks aren't insolvent, they're just stressed." Right? That sounds like a little bit of game, right? And what we would call it the semantics. The bank's insolvent, right? You broke. Don't give me, they're just stressed. And while you may not see, while you may not see bankruptcy, you're gonna see other clear signs, those red flags that people like to think is a freaking derby, right? Where the banks aren't opening new branches, stuff's falling apart, ATMs are being maintained over and over and over again to the point where they're not really working because they don't have the technology, or the funds to replace and to keep the ATMs stacked with cash, so on and so forth.
Wow.
So they're hitting you with a little bit of game in the way that they are wording the article.
And so, in that vein, and it wouldn't happen, but if there was a run on these smaller regional banks, then they'd be insolvent like that.
Right. So they are insolvent.
They're insolvent because any run on the bank, they're out of here.
Oh, hi, Cousin Rue. Cousin Rue done slipped in the
Hey,
room.
what's up, cousin bro?
FDI can't cover all banks. It's only insurance. You mean the FDIC? I got you. The banks pay premiums in the FDIC, and if the banks fail, the insurance pot for the FDIC coverage gets smaller. But I'm just
Yeah.
showing you the game in the article. They wanted to make, because they're still trying to find ways to hold on to the trust of the public. So even in the article, they're like, well, the bank's not really insolvent, it's just stressed. And
Yeah.
there's going to be fewer bank failures, so you don't have to worry about that. And if there is a bank failure, we promise that the FDIC is going to cover all deposits. We know none of that is true. The bank's insolvent, it's going to fail, and we know that the FDIC is not covering all depositors' money. We know that because we've seen it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, a couple of more times. We get it, right? So you guys is big cat all over this article.
Yeah, it's CNBC, so it's gonna be soft. It's a soft
And
take
it's the
on it.
propaganda machine.
it's a
But
soft take.
at the same time, they have to tell you the truth,
Yeah, they gotta
right?
tell you a little bit of the
And they're
truth,
going to
right?
wrap it up in icing and sprinkles.
Okay, so yeah, so remember, Bitcoin be your own bank. That's the way you can. That is the best way for you and your family. There's different ways to be your own bank. There's different ways to use Bitcoin, right? Especially entrepreneurs, or you using it in savings. You're putting away like diamond hands forever, never touch it, never sell it. Different ways you use it. You can use it as a saving account as well. It's going to be a little volatile as a savings account, but it works. This works. I've
But
done
you
it.
could
Yeah,
also
I've done
use
it.
precious metals as your high yield savings account and invest in Bitcoin. We've talked about that, right? There's different ways. As you becoming your own bank, there's different ways you can figure out to bank that work best for your economic policies, for your monetary policies, for your household, your domain.
Yeah, and just like you say, if you run your household like a business, you're using the 12-week year. You're supposed to have treasury reserve assets. So, like Michael Saylor, if you wanted to keep treasury reserve assets in Bitcoin for your home as you run it as a business, or you could keep it in just cash, like most companies do, or you keep your precious metals, a mixture of both. These are things that you think about, and you're supposed to in your daily, in your daily thoughts and stuff. You write down. She writes things down daily.
12-week year.
Yeah. I get up
I know some of the cousins went and bought one for your
I
12-week
get
year.
yeah, I get up at 4 in the morning when it's quiet and dark, and I could kind of read and get things done and get my thoughts
We
and like,
both
oh,
up
we can
at
do
4. If he's up at 4 in the morning, we up at 4.
this. So I don't turn the light on, nothing. I just, I be there. But sometimes I laugh at a little stupid meme. She said, "You laughing too loud." You laughing too loud, dog. I said, "Come on, man. I can't laugh. I can't laugh in my bedroom."
People want to keep you up all night and then wake up early in the morning and want to know why you grumpy. It says, y'all did hear about this, right? It's a family show.
Oh.
Not many outlets was covering it. FRBK closed by regulators on 4/26/24. The company was founded November 16th in 1987. It's a bank. Cryptonomics, give me just a little bit more on that. And that was the Cliff Notes version. Give me a little bit more than that. Hi, Michelle. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? I shouted you out, I want to say, on the last show.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I hadn't
what's up,
seen you
Michelle?
for a little bit.
What's
So
up,
I was
Michelle?
saying I miss my Michelle when she come and she say hello.
Yeah.
So if you watch the last show or the show before that, you'll see that your cousin shouted you out.
Yeah, what's up?
She
What's up?
misses you. Okay. Let me read it, baby,
I
because
got it. I can
he
read.
got the prettiest eyes I've ever seen and can't see nothing, y'all. It's a hot
on,
mess.
man. This ain't-
Let me do it.
Yeah, like I'm one of them athlete jocks, and they call on you.
You can't
read.
see. You can read. You just can't
Okay,
see.
I'll hold it to my face. This is a good
And
one.
he don't want to hold it like, because when it's just me and him, he holds it like this.
So we got a finbold.com. I don't know if you're familiar with them. It's a newer website. But,
Okay, hold on. Okay, First Republic. Yes, we do know about First Republic as the bank
Oh,
failure.
yeah.
But I didn't know it under the name FRBK, so thank you. I know we hate it when you miss a live too, but I did shout you out because I noticed you weren't in the room. So your cousins know when you're not here, and that's what's important.
Hmm.
That's my girl.
So now this is, I mean, this is we always talk about AI now. So Finbo, AI predicts silver price for May 31st, 2024.
Shut your mouth.
So
Today is the 4th. We gonna be
okay.
rich.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass
I got
this.
some stuff I want to
I'm gonna
buy.
have to pass that one.
Y'all, my Amazon shopping cart, y'all be so proud of me. There's only 2 things in there. I've been doing so good because we're supposed to be on a savings spree. So you only ordered one thing this quarter, and that was your survival kit set.
Yeah, we got a new survival kit coming, because we're still on, you got to have your bug out bags. But I found a new nice survival kit. It's very inexpensive on Amazon. When it gets here, we'll bust it out and show you the survival things in it. It's for the kids and stuff. We got to get them ready.
Junior got one thing. He got some really nice shoes he wanted, so he got his one thing. I have 2 things in the cart, and it's not fun, y'all. It's office supplies, but it's gonna look really nice on my desk because y'all know I don't know. You probably don't know, but pink is my favorite color, and the closest I can get to that is a nice rose gold with pretty pens and stuff. So I got 2 things in my cart. We've been doing so good.
I got a pair of shoes, y'all. Finally.
I bought him the shoes he's been asking for.
I wore it down.
You're welcome.
I wore it down, family.
He worked for it, and we'll leave it at that.
Oh, my goodness. It must be Saturday night.
He worked for it. But I still owe Sean a pair of shoes.
What you got in that glass?
It's water, I swear. Oh, and it's brain freeze cold. You want to taste it? It's so good. I need to buy a Stanley cup. Y'all got Stanley cups? Tell me what y'all think about them. Hubby bought this for me because he knows I love ice water and he knows I love pink. And I got like a little my thermometer. I don't think it's working. Oh, it does work.
It was working last night. I always say 19 though.
You hear?
Oh, no, wow.
It was working
Is it
last
19?
night.
Is it always 19?
No, it's 12 right now. So what's this about? AI predicts silver price for May 31st, 2024. Unsurprisingly, with April seeing it hit its highest ever end of month price, gold has been taking the bulk of the attention of hard commodity investors, which we are. Though coffee and cocoa might have taken more attention. Really? Cocoa?
Yeah, all these things, that's
I
commodities.
know coffee, but cocoa?
Yeah, it's commodities.
Might have taken more attention when it comes to commodities more broadly. Silver has no laggard in 2024. Cryptonomics is good that you're here because you haven't been here for a while when we've been talking about precious metals and stuff. And I know you heavy on the monster boxes with silver, gold, and I think you said copper, right?
Copper is moving.
The world's second biggest precious metal and the more useful one by far has seen a significant rise in value of 11.37% since the start of the year, up to $26 at press time, silver's highest in over 36 months. As a result, and particularly with recessionary fears, inflationary worries, and geopolitical concerns. So let me just stop there real quick. This is why we kind of do the shows we do. I know some of the cousins are like, we wish y'all would stick to crypto. We wish y'all would stick to crypto. But in a world now, due to digital technological advances, we don't have geographical borders anymore, right? We are literally like one big Wi-Fi networked world. So understand that our money is always attached to recessionary fears, inflationary worries, and geopolitical concerns. Yeah. Right? That's why we do a lot of macroeconomics, microeconomics, investment 101. I mean, sometimes I know you guys feel like we're more like college professors than we are supposed to be in the crypto community, but your portfolio is comprehensive. So we want you to have eyes on all aspects of your portfolio, and the things that cause market contractions within your portfolio.
And I don't mean to cut this off, but when she says portfolio, you have portfolios inside of portfolios inside of portfolios. It's like a Russian doll, right? It's you got your life portfolio. You got to figure out how to weave your economic portfolio into your life portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things you need to know. Yeah, you need to know about everything, the macro, zoom out on it.
And let freedom ring, cousin. No, the survival kit doesn't come with food. It's mostly like weapons.
Oh yeah, like weapons. You got fishing wire. You got knives. You have compass,
like hunting tools and stuff like that. Yeah.
So when you out,
it's more about utility.
Yeah, utility.
Okay.
When he's talking about food, we were talking more about
Yeah, I just want to catch that real
what are
quick.
they called?
Hi, cousin Shango.
MREs and stuff like that. You can order off of Amazon, so you could be stacked up on MREs if you need food.
Bitcoin Shango said, "May the fourth be with you." I wish y'all may the fourth be with y'all. He said that I was like Big Bang Theory corny. May the fourth be with you and my little baby cousin that you got in the shop with you. Bitcoin Shango said, "In the hole." Pause. But what do we say? I don't know what we said. We do so many pauses, I don't even know sometimes. Anyway, because of these geopolitical concerns that have given rise to gold staggering rise to all-time highs, various strategists and prominent investors such as Kiyosaki have been exceedingly bullish about silver in recent months. We've been extremely bullish. Cryptonomics, have you been bullish with your silver lately? Just because we haven't seen you in a little bit, and I know you heavy on the precious metals as well.
I know Cryptonomics is bullish on his bullets.
Oh yeah,
I
he like
that.
weapons.
I know.
But let's shout out cousin L1L. Cousin
Okay,
L1L
yeah.
got some silver recently. Right, we want to give you your flowers. Hopefully, you are not looking for a parking space right now. I was like, wow, you looking for a real parking space. And if you're driving, I want you to be safe. And I'm gonna email you back so that we can definitely do a FaceTime. We would love to meet you. Anybody else who would like to do a FaceTime with us, to talk shop, just chat, create a community, whatever it is you want, hubby and I will absolutely make time for you because you are our family. We love you and you deserve that time.
Silver, man, stack it. You get that? Huh?
So, given how much silver has already risen, ChatGPT believes the commodity is bound for a month of consolidation and relative stability, which would see it trade close to a press time price of $26.49 per ounce by the end of the month. And that is somewhere in a range between $26.50 and $27. So you can see now they're using AI to write articles in order to predict what's to come without having to do, this is a sidebar, y'all, without having to do the homework themselves.
Oh yeah. People getting lazy out here using AI, but AI don't do it. Get lazy, AI.
No, I know your silver stack ain't no joke, Cryptonomics. I'm just asking, like, we've been really up in it. Like, hubby's been, that's why there's only 2 things in my Amazon cart, because the rest of the money had to go to silver. Right? Only 2 little things in my cart. So I just wanted to know, oh, okay, I missed your comment, cousin. It said, I just bought 3 kilo bars of silver last week. It was on sale. Cryptonomics.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, them kilo bars.
Cousin Rue said, I don't even pause anymore because of y'all. You got me on the no Diddy kit. We haven't, I mean, I say it from time to time, but our inside joke is pause.
No, I just make it.
You could imagine him talking to his wife. Every other comment with him is pause.
No, I got it from watching the stupid. I shouldn't say stupid. My bad. Let me retract that.
It's a great show.
It's a podcast with Cameron and Mace. It's a sports podcast, but you know, I got that from Cameron. But it's funny the way they do it.
He knows how to talk to regular people, but when he talks to his wife, it's pause every other. So y'all just imagine.
But yeah, those kilo bars, man, that's the realness, man. And you get the very low premiums on those joints. Man. So the kilos bars are the realness.
Cryptonomics, you in the U.S. where they're selling the gold at Costco. They're not selling it here at our Costco in the Mexican market, but is that something that you have experience with? If so, let me know in the chat. Cousin L1L isn't driving right now. Oh, okay. You're going to Loveland, Colorado. We had a Loveland in Ohio. L1L, when you come to visit your cousins in Mexico City, put that truck away and come visit your cousins. Yeah, I read the comment before that, Cryptonomics. I had missed it initially. Cousin Shango, my silver arrived last month too. Yay! Yeah, Cousin Shango. We should clap for Cryptonomics too. That is 3 kilo bars. Yeah. Y'all out here doing it with your tier 1 assets. Cousin Shango said it's a little addictive.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people. You went from investing into now it's like a hobby. You're like, man, I need to get this and get this. I'm gonna get this next week.
Amazon sent me a message to ask me, blink twice if you're okay, because my shopping has decreased significantly.
And
because somebody has a silver addiction.
they keep sending me emails and little notifications. You get that AppMex. If you're getting it from AppMex, get that. I hope you guys got AppMex app too as well. Get notifications on price movement and stuff. You can see where see a little price jump up. You can see some spoofing early in the morning.
Amazon's like, Mrs. Simon, we've noticed a decline in your purchases. Blink twice if you're okay.
So yeah, and you guys, I like that, man. And going back to cryptonomics, um, we want to always give our ASCs and things like that, our real. I'm sorry.
But
Maple
Cryptonomics been
Limes.
doing silver for a long time, so he can fill his portfolio in with those.
But when I'm
large
saying
bars.
people like good friend of our show, Andy Scheckman, CEO of Miles Franklin, when he tells you get into your silver journey, you might. He says you want to start with ounces. So maybe getting a 5-ounce bar,
But he did. That's
a
what I'm
10-ounce bar.
saying.
Well, I'm just putting
Yeah,
out there every
Cryptonomics
day.
been doing this for a while. He got
I'm not
monster
talking to
bosses.
Cryptonomics.
Oh, you're talking about Shango. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
get some, because you get lower premiums. You get a hand poured bar, 5-9 minutes. That was
Nine fine mint.
something like that. You get hand poured bars and things like that. You'll get a lower premium, but you'll get the ounces. And so, get your ounces up too as you get your coinage
Cousin
up.
Shango, go ahead and email. Well, I'll email you. Let's get together. Let's get our kids together on FaceTime and do like a little silver party so the kids can kind of see the silver and stuff. We can teach them a little bit. I think your kids would be happy to meet their cousins and vice versa. And that way they can kind of get into it as well. Hey, Bam is on here. Hey, cousin Bam.
What's up, man?
Tell cousin Cece I am loving her farm. I'm loving the chickens. I love all of her posts. I am probably her I'm probably her number 2 fan because you're probably her number 1 fan. But tell cousin Cece I am so proud of all of the beautiful work she's doing. She makes me proud to be a Black woman. These are the women that should be on the forefront, that everybody should be seeing, that everybody should be listening to. She's got a beautiful farm. Her children are involved in the farming. She teaches us about. She just recently did a live on. They hatched some eggs in the red light, and all of the chickens were alive, or all of the chicks, I should say, were alive. So tell cousin Cece I am absolutely loving her content, and you guys keep it up. But Bam did say something. Bam is getting his coins weekly. He said thank you for
Oh,
asking.
yeah, weekly. Yeah.
So
Get that weekly coin.
cousin Bam and cousin Cece, we applaud y'all. L1L, AppMex shipping was cheaper than Miles Franklin. Yes.
Yeah.
So AppMex is going to be cheaper than Miles Franklin. So Andy Scheckman's company is a family company. This is now the 3rd generation.
3rd generation, but I think it's been 34 years.
And while it's extremely lucrative, it's also smaller than AppMex. You know what I mean? So it is going to be a little bit cheaper. It's kind of like buying something from Amazon versus buying from the actual store. You know what I mean? So we like to support him because it is a family endeavor. We still buy stuff off of AppMex too, but
yeah, he can't ship this Mexico.
yeah, and he has a hard time shipping us to Mexico. So he has to ship it to our residents in Florida, and then y'all know the story.
So, and also all these people getting silver, we're very happy about that. Make sure that also in your silver journey, this physical silver journey, you are.
What was this?
Physical,
was
like
this?
you can hold it. Like,
What was that?
yeah. If you watch the NFL, that means it's a reception.
Oh, okay.
Bam, know that.
Right,
it's a reception. You received it, right?
Oh, okay.
Bam, you got it. You know what I'm talking about. But
Okay. I don't know. It just looked like drama club, right?
No, that's a reception in the NFL. But you got to be able to protect it, right? So have your protection measures in place. Just because one thing I found out is you try to talk about silver. But the wrong people find out, like, hey, I heard you got a lot of silver. So it's a little give and take where you like, should I really be telling them, showing them? So you got to have your protection measures in place, okay? And as long as you got your protection measures in place, you will be safe. If you do not you don't feel like you could protect them as well, you can still buy the physical and leave it in depository, and it'll be there. It's not paper silver. It is your silver in a depository, and if you stand for delivery and you say, hey, I want my silver, they will deliver it to you. So, there's all kind of options. You want to have some on hand though. Definitely want to have some real silver and gold on hand that you can just put your hands on right now.
And like
And
for
well,
cousin Shango and those of you guys who have children, you absolutely want the children to, interact with the precious metals. You want to talk to them about it, let them interact with it as often as you possibly can. It's good for the collective consciousness of your grandchildren. Okay, Cryptonomics is telling me something that I asked him. He said, my only reservation about Costco, because Walmart sells precious metals too. That I did not know. That's crazy.
I ain't been to the US in a long
But
time.
both of these places, be sure shipping is tracked with signature. If not, buy it in person if possible.
I agree
Walmart
with
sells
that.
precious metals?
I agree
Okay.
with that. I like to buy it
Thank
in
you,
person.
Cryptonomics. You've been like CNN lately.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get me on the minute news.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah,
Buy it in person.
just go get it in person if it's at your local Walmart or local Walmart around you. And also, you can utilize what's called local coin dealers or local coin shops, and that way you can kind of peruse the
But the
silver.
only reason why I said that, baby, is because when people are going to Costco, they have capital with them. They ready to buy the whole store.
But what I'm saying is, when you go to local coin dealers and local coin shops, they have interesting coins
Yes,
like
they do.
he said is becoming a hobby or
An
so
addiction, but go
an
ahead.
addiction, and so you might find little things like, oh, this is a rare gem, and this is something. Oh, I never seen this, and you can grab some stuff for cheap, under spot, sometimes lower premiums. So if you have a local coin dealer in the neighborhood, or not neighborhood,
In your
the,
area.
in the city or area, check them out and go over there. You definitely want to do that, and that's also part of the hobby because you get to just see it in person. You get to touch it, you get to feel it, look at it.
You can see if there's any defects with it and so on
Yeah, a
and
lot
so
of
forth.
times it'll be a little oxidation, but that happens. That happens.
Or sometimes
Oxidation.
you get the milky oxidation. I don't like that.
Yeah, but they're
I
out
don't
and
like that. The milk spots. I
yeah.
don't like that at all.
So
Cousin Shango says sounds legit. Yes, we're gonna do that call, and you put my baby cousins on there. Cryptonomics. There's no way I would buy precious metals delivered by the United States Postal Service. Shout out to KW1. I don't think she would appreciate that comment, cousin. Ruel Black. Bam. If you can give cousin Rue Cece's channel, I follow her on Facebook, so I think maybe I can get it, Rue, and then email it to you because it's a beautiful farm. She has great posts. Um, Bam, I think your son just went to the prom, or did he just graduate? So congratulations on that. I know CC was hosting like 30 people. She was exhausted. So, but she is such an inspirational, beautiful Black woman with all of the right talking points. All of the right talking points. She is so refreshing on my timeline. She's like a solve for an open, festering wound on my timeline. So I'm always happy to see Cece's content. But I'll get it to you, cousin Rue, because I don't even know if Bam's still on here. Sometimes Bam be in and out. Um, cousin Shango said, "Catch it over the shoulder and protect it." Oh, the reception. I thought it was drama club.
thank you. You know what I'm talking about? That's
I
a
didn't know what that
reception.
was. It just, if he was
It's-
singing me a
yeah,
love
two tap over
song,
the shoulder. Yeah.
I didn't know what he was doing.
You receive it. That's what I was
But
trying to
he
say.
said, "I got you. It is the universal sign of reception." Okay, I'm a girl. Forgive me. Cryptonomics. I never buy precious metals without tracking. I don't think anybody does. Some people will buy from Costco. I think very few people do. Let me say that.
Yeah, you
Some
got it,
people
man.
will buy from Costco or Walmart to get lower shipping. But if your precious metals get lost, yeah, you asked out. So that doesn't make any sense. Can't spell today. What's Cece's channel? Let me email it to you, babe, because I'm just going to email you the link. And hopefully she'll accept your friend request. It is Facebook. Don't be cheap with the shipping. Yes, don't, because you pay for it. Cousin Shango, there's an issue with Costco apparently. Oh, the news was saying not to buy it. Really? Which obviously made me want to buy it more. What was the news saying about it? Now, we've talked about this, and I'm just going to run you down memory lane. So there was a time when the entire generation that had lived understood that I don't have a dollar bill. I have some dollars upstairs, but I don't have a dollar
He
on
might
me.
have took him, man. He took him.
but they understood. Um, where's the money Sean just found? So there was a time when the nation, right, understood that this is Mexican money, but pretend it was a 50 or $100 bill. This is their $100 bill in Mexico.
Right.
Um, there was a time that this was just a promissory note. The value wasn't in this. They knew that it was backed by gold, and they knew that they could take this bill, the promissory note, to the bank, and in exchange, I don't have any precious metals down here. And in exchange, get the precious metal. We used to have coins and stuff down here, but we don't now, right? So when they took the money off of the standard, okay, the idea was more than just wanting to print money. They wanted to birth generations of people who begin to put the value in the promissory note and become detached from the instrument, because you gotta remember, money is instruments, from the instrument that actually has the value. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why it seems as though today's generation, Cousin T. Will Line is not on here, but we had a great discussion about a couple of shows ago, why this generation doesn't have value for precious metals, because they don't understand that this is the value. This is just a promissory note. It is really like the same as if I left Simon a Post-it note that said, hey, babe, I took $50 from your wallet to go get my nails done. I'll give it back to you this evening when I come home. Right? It has the same value as that Post-it note I left my husband.
Yeah, but see what happens is people like was it Cousin Shango? Who said they were getting addicted to it?
I can't remember if it was Cousin Shango or if it was L1L, but one of the cousins, it don't matter, they all get addicted.
Yeah, they get addicted.
You can see Cryptonomics is addicted to it.
But you know, I collect little stuff that is, I collect Hot Wheels. I'm a grown man. I collect Hot Wheels. Ask her. I collect.
But that's a hobby he has with his 6-year-old too, so it does have
But they're my Hot Wheels,
value.
and you can't open them. You can't touch them.
And they collect it together, and they look
He
for.
helps me pick them out, but you can't touch
But I'm going to tell you this: Tino Bino, at 6 years old, understands vintage, because the Hot Wheel cars, he'll tell his dad, like, look, there's only 10 of these, there's only 25 of these. When he sees number bigger than that, Simon's been testing him. They made 125 of these cars. Tino be like, throw that in the garbage. So all right, you know, but he understands now vintage, supply, demand, and scarcity, right? By doing the Hot Wheels hobby. So that's why we're saying, when you guys are nation building your children, find the opportunities to teach them that which they need as a real world application. So now when we explain to him with the silver, we can tell him, this silver coin, they only minted 250 of them. Now that number seems high to him because he's the Hot Wheels. Some Hot Wheels, they only make 5.
Yeah.
And Dad has number 3 or 5 or something like that.
I got him. You know,
there was one time, and it's probably statistics, where they went to a different place and found 1 of 5, and it was part of the same vintage. So now Tino's got it in his mind, he's gonna find the other 3, which he probably won't. But now when we do the coins with him, he like, oh, okay, so these are more valuable than these. In a sense, yes, but it's a real world application opportunity that we had with him, 6 years old, autistic, to understand wealth and the inheritance that he has coming to him.
And yeah, because you guys, we were all children at one time, so we had our own currency, if you will. Was it baseball cards or something like that? What else did we have? Erin, she was Garbage Pail Kid cards. That's where she comes from. They trade Garbage Pail Kid cards.
But why? Because I'm from New York.
That's what you told me.
I thought that was a shot at me being a New Yorker. Yes, I did have Garbage Pail Kid cards.
But I was trading baseball cards. You know, so that was our currency. You know, you give me 2 so-and-sos for a Ken Griffey, and you be like, nah, that ain't right. So that's how we were when we were little. I've seen my kids come up with, Junior, tell me, what you guys just...
What was the name of them cards? It was the Japanese cartoon thing.
Yeah,
they used to have the cards, and then you throw the little ball, and the little thing would pop out. Y'all could battle these little balls. What's it called? Not Pokemon. Sean had something else. He had what?
You,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh. And
So,
Sean used to get the cards, and he used to get the little weapons, and
yeah,
he would.
that was their
That was
currency.
their currency.
And so,
And Tino's currency now are Kinder eggs.
so now when you teach them currency, then you can teach them real currency, and you can teach them real money. And these are the things you're going to trade. And so they get an understanding, and that's a good thing. You know, kids learn very well. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza, they will tell you about kids 1 through 7 being in what's called theta. Theta, that's where they get all their programming. So check them out. You will learn that your children get all their programming from 1 to 7. Well, you should say 0 to 7, but 1 to 7. That in the theta wave, which is a lower wave, and
They absorb everything.
They absorb everything.
And that's where most of that trauma ends up beginning to develop.
Yeah. So if you have like a traumatic theta wave, then moving everything forward is now you got to figure out.
And you have tumultuous adulthood.
Yeah, you have to find out how to resolve that trauma. If you have a very easygoing, great theta 1 through 7, you don't have that trauma that you have to deal with in life. And so, these are things they don't teach us in parenting classes when we have children young and stuff.
Because they thrive. When your children are traumatized, they thrive.
Right. So, that's something to think about, theta wave. There's a way for us as adults to get theta wave, but it's hard.
And it's through meditation.
Yes, through meditation.
Cousin Rue probably know all about that.
Yeah, tell us more.
Cryptonomics, we did talk about when silver went up. As a matter of fact, Simon did a whole show on what they did at the end of closing that Friday.
Yeah.
When silver was at that all-time high, how they shoved it off a cliff.
Yeah, they shoved it off a cliff at the end of a Friday of closing, when everybody was kind of shut it down, and it was what we like to call a thinly traded market, and they just smashed it down. It was pushing. I think it got to 29.80 maybe, and then they were like, okay, so it's about to test 30.
Simon did charts and everything. No.
And I had a chart on the next show because you've seen the same thing with
gold. Gold, yeah.
Gold, and then you've seen the same thing.
He overlaid the two charts over each other, and they looked exactly the same.
So yeah, that was a big bummer because I thought, oh man, if we break 30, then we got a lot of room to move between 30 and 50, which is the all-time high. It's a lot of airspace right there. So I was disappointed that it didn't break 30.
Like, he mad when he doing technicals on the show Cryptonomics.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I don't really do technicals. I got.
Yeah, he was mad.
So
Cousin Shango said he's addicted. He's still scratching. Who was it? What was his name? On Dave Chappelle, he used to scratch all the time. He'd be like, y'all got any of that crack? Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah, okay.
Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah, we got what, 52 people in the room. 62 people in the room. I want to go over this article I have. If you have any more comments, but I want to go over this article just in like a hard pivot, if you don't mind, or if you want to go to the comments.
I just want to make sure I read all of them. Baby.
Everybody okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So this is an article I had sitting in the queue. So the world's fastest growing emerging markets forecast 2024 to 2029 forecast. So we got to cite our source. This is ISScapital.com. This is not I'm not familiar with this platform, but I'll go over it. This was written May 2nd. I'm sorry. So we got emerging markets out here, y'all. And so you have different things. You have frontier markets, and then you have emerging markets. So emerging markets is something that maybe you could jump in right now. So I'll just give you the emerging markets, and then I'll let her read it. So the top emerging market is, shout out to Guyana. They win. You win. Yay. So Guyana is the top emerging market in that time period, 2024, 29, and they're looking at close to 20%. And then you have,
Let me see.
Mozambique. I'm sorry. So Mozambique is number 2. Rwanda is number 3. Bangladesh is number 4. Ethiopia is number 5. Niger is number 6. Uganda is number 7. India is number 8. Vietnam is number 9. Senegal is number 10. So these are the top
African countries,
top growing emerging markets. So when you're looking to plant flags, these are the kind of These are kind of things you're looking for. Not saying you got to move to any of these countries, buy any property in these countries, but this is where you take that business trip and go see what these countries are about.
Although Guyana is a very nice country, y'all go visit them people.
Yeah, and we just talked about last night. The guy was visiting Rwanda, and he told us how it was a great place. And so these are places that you might check out. You know, somebody tell you, "Oh, should you put some money into Ethiopia?" You'd be like, "Nah, man, why?" But it's a top emerging market, right? And so it's past frontier. So you got frontier markets, which is a little bit behind. It's going to take some time. You got emerging markets, right? And so these are markets that you can really gain, and if you do the due diligence and figure out how you can gain, how you can get an arbitrage out of these markets. And if you are, you know, if you like to travel, you know, take a vacation, make 1 week vacation, make 1 week business.
Guyana's a Caribbean country, like Jamaica, like Trinidad, like Barbados. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. They are known for their beautiful waterfalls, good food, beautiful women. Um,
So
y'all should visit.
So this is the forecast for 5 years. I'll let her read the exact from the experts, but those are the top, I think, top 10.
So, large emerging markets are forecast to play a greater role in powering global economic growth, driven by demographic shifts and a growing consumer class. At the same time, many smaller nations are projected to see their economies grow at double the global average over the next 5 years due to rich natural resource deposits and other factors. So, like Guyana's number one, they've got gold, sugar, oil, hella oil, bauxite. What else they got?
And you know they had that dispute with Venezuela. I never seen how that
They
was
resolved it? No,
resolved.
it's still Guyana's.
It's still okay. They resolved it.
I don't know that they resolved it, but
that
it's
little
still
strip
Guyana's.
there, but they got, like you said, they got the oil, gold, bauxite.
So with that said, elevated debt levels do present risks to future economic activity. This graphic shows the emerging markets with the fastest projected growth through to 2029 based on data from the International Monetary Fund's World Economic Outlook. So you guys should be familiar with the IMF.
Yes, indeed.
If not, do a wiki.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about them already. As South America's third smallest nation, Guyana is projected to be the world's fastest. Let me say that again. Guyana is projected to be the world's fastest growing economy from now to 2029. This is thanks to a significant discovery of oil deposits, what I say, by ExxonMobil, which propelled the country's economy to grow by fourfold over the last 5 years. By 2028, the nation of just 800,000 people is projected to have the highest crude oil production per capita, outpacing Kuwait.
Yeah.
Bangladesh, wait. Did I skip something? Was there a pop-up? Bangladesh, where 85% of exports are driven by the textile industry, is forecast to see the strongest growth in Asia. In fact, over the last 30 years, the country of 170 million people has not had a single year of negative growth. That's very interesting.
Can I say something on? I'm sorry, on Guyana.
That the women are beautiful,
I've never been there.
and that you love the way they cook. You love the softness of their skin.
They cook soul food.
No,
I can't eat soul food no more.
I just cook curry.
No, but
oxtail.
What I missed on Guyana, as she was going by real fast, is that if you look into Guyana, they have a very young and inspiring president, such as El Salvador, right? So game theory may play into that, right? If you step in early,
He remind me of Bukele.
He has oil reserves, and then if he gets into Bitcoin, because we have some information about a woman who is running for president.
This is Suriname. This is Dutch Guyana.
So that's the country to the east.
Right.
Suriname is country, and she is trying to win the presidency and then turn Suriname into like a Bitcoin country like El Salvador. And if this happens, you know, this might all play out. It'll take a while. Then game theory will play out because your country neighbor is doing it. Then now maybe he meets with her. Then he'll do it. But he's a young.
But I think our president's been chatting with Bukele. I'm almost sure that he has been.
Yeah, he's young like Bukele. So keep an eye.
And he does make a nice curry, y'all.
So keep an eye on Guyana if they're gonna be like El Salvador, you know. And 800,000, that's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even know
It's
that.
so little, yeah.
Because
It's
even El,
all land and water.
because even El Salvador is 6 million people. There's
Guyana
800,000.
means land of many waters, so it's a lot of like what we say, the bush. That's why I use it so much because Guyana is one big bush.
But so it's gonna be in Georgetown. It's gonna all this stuff is gonna be happening.
GT, yep.
Okay.
And they've
Sorry,
been
sorry,
building and
David.
building.
Yeah.
He also makes a nice oxtail
I don't know.
and peas and rice.
She
He
does.
just cooked nice. Okay. So we talked about Bangladesh, India. You would think India with its 65 trillion million zillion people would have some money. Because whenever they go to another country, they be in all the top fields and they be having paper. But then in the country that they come from, it's like abject poverty, and I don't get it. In the eighth place overall, projected to achieve a 6.5% in real GDP through 2029, the growth is forecasted to be fueled by population trends. That makes sense. Public investment and strong consumer demand. It's just so many people there. It's worse than Mexico. So many people there. That's it, baby. That was the end of the article.
Okay, so
Do you want to do the global inflation forecast for the next 24 months?
I mean, you can. It's okay.
So the IMF forecast for global inflation rates up to 2026 highlights a slow descent of price pressures. I don't know if I'm buying what you're selling. Let me see. Wait, where is it?
Yeah,
It's too many pop-ups, babe. Oh,
Yeah.
continue reading.
Yeah, click them.
Look at this pop-up, pop-up, pop-up.
And this is just a global macroeconomic view, if you will. I wish you guys go over there and check out Raoul Pal. He's a great macroeconomist. He'll tell you about what's going on globally on all continents. You got to check him out. He has a great channel called Real Vision. Real Vision. So, and he interviews some of the smartest economic minds there are. And also, we always got to shout out Lynn Alden. You got to check out Lynn Alden. Um, go, excuse me, get her newsletter that she puts out every 6 weeks. This thing is comprehensive. I mean, it's a read. And she puts out great information in this newsletter. One of the best macroeconomics I've ever seen. So check out Lynn Alden, man. Lynn Alden's going to put you down on some game. That's what's going on globally.
Cousin Shango said if they recover from that craziness, I'm exceedingly happy for them. Okay, we have someone new in the room named Karib. I don't know if you're male or female. I want to say you're female. Look like your thumbnail's female. Are you from Guyana? It was not resolved. Venezuela pulled a fast one. It already is. Thanks, Exxon. Karib, tell me if you're a Guyanese gal. Crazy Bronx Dot. She could be Trinidadian. She could be Bajan. I mean, we, brothers and sisters in arms. Hi, Colonel. How you doing? Cousin Shango, I pray the leaders in Guyana remember how they were treated before oil discoveries and keep the IMF goon squad, right? I agree. Make them some bad curry. They never cross you again. Y'all need to post articles up on the screen for us. I know, Cryptonomics, I'm having hella trouble with the share screen. Cousin Rue doesn't have any trouble sharing his screen. I have all of the trouble. But normally we want you guys to follow us. So I need to we have it's a new experience on the platform, so I do need to play with it because I'm thinking maybe there's another function or feature that will allow me to help post the articles for you. So I'm working on that. Cousin Shango said Lynn Alden. Do you remember he said he had a crush on Lynn Alden?
Yeah, Lynn Alden, man, she got the game. She got the game.
So global inflation. The big question is if inflation will decline enough to trigger easing monetary policy. So far, the Federal Reserve has held rates for 9 months amid stronger than expected core inflation, which excludes volatile energy and food prices. Mugs are going to be rioting soon with the amount of inflation towards groceries. Like, that's how bad it's starting to get in the U.S. Yet looking further ahead, inflation forecasts from the IMF suggest that inflation will decline. They keep saying that. We haven't seen it. And as price pressure begins to ease, but the path of disinflation is not without its own unknown risks.
Right.
Do you think that they tell us what the unknown risks are? No, not at all.
So then, I mean, so let's talk about this. We talked about this before. Let's talk about it again. This Saturday night, 61 people in the room. We ain't got nothing to do, man. So let's talk about it again. Pull up. If you could just pull up. I don't have nothing to do. Okay, she ain't got to do.
Got stuff to do.
What's she gonna do? What you got doing?
I gotta go clean Tino's room. Have you seen it?
This man who ain't doing nothing could clean it.
No, but I'm gonna clean it properly.
Sunday
I'm
morning. We'll do it on Sunday morning.
Tino Bino tore his room up, y'all.
Yeah, we'll do it Sunday morning.
Looked like his toy box threw up in the middle of the room. Hi, baby. See, he's waiting for me. I'm waiting for you to clean my room up with me. Okay, what are we looking at?
Pull up that article that I had about the IRS, not the IRS, Social Security, and how long Social Security is going to last. Because we got to talk about this too, real quick, since we're here.
None of you believe that Social Security is going to sustain you guys in retirement, do you?
Please give me watermelon.
What do you want?
Please give me more
You want more what, baby?
watermelon.
You want some what? You eating daddy's watermelon? He gonna whoop you. Okay, we're gonna get you some watermelons, baby, eating up
Yeah,
all of dad's watermelon.
ask Junior if you can.
Junior, can you get the baby some watermelon? Baby, I don't see it.
It's not on there. You have to just Google it.
You didn't say that.
Sorry. So yeah, we got to talk about this because as they have the rising inflation, and we went over this last show with the Biden economics, where they want to tell you 8-9% CPI. Okay, I get it. But then when they showed you the groceries at the store, you had to go get. They're talking about eggs, bread, milk, orange juice. What else was going on? Eggs, bread, milk. But the things you need when you go to the grocery store, like the basic things. And it is ridiculous. It's way over. When they did the combination of just what they had, it was close to 50% inflation on what you had to go get on some basic things, right? And we ain't even talking about the other things you might buy, like cereal or they didn't say anything about chicken, beef, and stuff like that. But just, basic stuff for young families. You need eggs, you need milk, you need bread. You need formula, right? If you're not going to breastfeed, you need that. You need other things to get a little older. You need kind of like cereal and stuff like that. And it was bad. It was bad. And it was, like I said, it was at 50%. 50%.
So in 2010, they wrote this, and then I'm going to go to a more current one. It says, as a result of changes to Social Security enacted in 1983, benefits are now expected to be payable in full on a timely basis until 2037. This is when the trust fund reserves are projected to become exhausted. At the point where the reserves are used up, continuing taxes are expected to be enough to pay 76% of scheduled benefits. Thus, Congress will need to make changes to the scheduled benefits and revenue sources for the program in the future. So that was written in 2010. Here we are 14 years later. It's a whole different story. So let me read it to you. Boop, 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 boop.
And that's 14 years later. But what it is a forecast. It may in your mind well, that's an old article. Well, yes and no. It's a forecast of what the person already knew was going to happen and was coming, and it was actually being generous because the new forecast has it coming back a few years before that. And so this is a problem because far too many people are relying on Social Security to be the part of their retirement. And if the funds are exhausted, then what's going on, because there's a homeless problem out here in the streets. And from what I can tell and the numbers I came across, the people who are becoming homeless at the fastest rate are women and children. So, because you got to understand that. And they don't show you that. Now, you go on YouTube and you just type in homeless encampments and start just watching these videos, and people go around and interview. It's people who are homeless with degrees, who had good jobs, things like that, who just couldn't work anymore. And they hadn't prepared themselves for retirement, but they can't work anymore. They got aged out the market, right? There's people out there with their children, mostly women with their children out there homeless, living in shelters. Like, this is a big deal. You go out there on the West Coast, big deal. LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, big deal. And so we gotta be ready for this because government, I mean, our parents got to live off of Social Security, other stuff like
In
that.
addition to their
They-
work
It
pension.
won't be there for us unless they change things. If they don't change things or reallocate funds or do what they need to do, Social Security gonna be exhausted, and that goes for retirees, and that goes for people on what do you call it,
Disability?
disability. And I believe disability. There's two different banks, if I have that right.
Yeah, two different, yeah,
Disability will exhaust itself first,
absolutely.
and then retirement will exhaust itself.
So this is written as of March of 2024. And it says, high inflation has prompted higher Social Security cost of living adjustments. But as the rate of price growth subsides, the annual increases for Social Security may fall in 2025 and beyond, right? That just lets you know that it's exhausting because they're tapping into it for fiscal spending. And that's the part that everybody knows, but they won't tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I'm just saying, if it's falling, so it's falling as inflation is going up, which is once again an inverse correlation, and that hurts them.
So in 2024, more than 66 million Americans are getting a 3.2% increase to their monthly Social Security checks. For retirees, the average increase is $59 per month. So let me ask y'all a question. If they're getting a 3.2% increase, how much is inflation? What did we say about the groceries? The groceries are up every trip 50% or higher.
50% on just those things you need.
Just those things that we talked about, right? The adjustment is far lower than the 8.7% COLA beneficiaries saw in 2023. So you could already see there's more than a 5% decrease in their increase. That's craziness. And that math don't math. And in 2022, they got a 5.9% increase. So 3.2 is still significantly lower than the increases they got in the previous 2 years.
And if we took them at face value, and we're not, but let's take them at face value. They say inflation is 8 to 9%. You're still down 6%. So your increase can't keep up with inflation, even if it was 8 to 9% like they tell us, and we know it's not.
The annual adjustment is calculated using third quarter data from a subset of consumer price index. The consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers as of February increased 3.1% over the past 12 months. So now they're going to do the little spin. This is way early, Johnson said. It'll change multiple times since the COLA is on the average inflation in the third quarter of the year against the previous year. A lot can happen between now and then. Meantime, experts say that there are steps retirees can take to compensate. So this is, you're not giving them the money that they paid in. Now you're going to give them advice on how they can fix the problem themselves.
Yes.
And this is what government does, right? So for the people who like to cake for their president, whoever he or she may be, whatever side he or she may be on, understand at the end of the day, they are taking your money and then turning around and telling you, you should try to figure out how to make this better for yourself while they're taking the money from you and giving it to whoever they feel like giving it to. So this show is all about establishing your own economic policy for your domain. You are the king or queen, or king and queen of your own domain, hence the kingdom. You need to have your own economic policy. You need to establish your own monetary policies. You need to, when we talk about jumping out of traditional finance into this new era we're in, where you have more control over how you want to bank. Shout out to the Jump Out girls.
Hey, Jump Out girls.
They're not on, I was just saying, because they jumped out of TradFi into DeFi.
I've been looking for y'all.
But this is why we do the show we do. If you have to change your geographical location in order to make your money go a bit further so that you could aggressively invest so that there is a retirement for you, so that your children aren't struggling when it's time for them to have their children, and so on and so forth. That's what this show is all about. Because when you read these articles, you're always going to notice at the end of the bad news, they're going to say, but here are ways you can compensate for the economic issues that we're dealing with in our economy. Bull effing it, right? Like, y'all are taking people's money, you sending it to whatever country you feel like sending it to, you spending it on whatever policy you feel like spending it on, you're kicking back to whoever you want to kick back to, and then you turn around and tell me you should really try to figure out how to make your money last further or stretch further and so on and so forth, instead of them paying you the money that they owe you, right? We should really be on some F you pay me kind of situation, but we're not, right? We're gonna march, we're gonna sing, we're gonna dance, we're gonna do all the shit that we've been doing for years that don't work. And then we'll be at the ballot box voting like a bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah, because the OGs just get into action.
Right.
Like, you know, like I said, we've been in Mexico 7 years. We don't have the right to vote.
Nope.
So
And we get stuff done.
we look for other ways to get things done. We talk to people. We talk to influencers, people who are influential in the community and who could put a word in. We talk to, you know, people who may be running for the office of mayor and things like that.
But we have to tell the truth, right? Because I'm noticing a significant increase in people selling glamour. Your cousin gonna tell y'all the truth. She do not romanticize anything that we do, right? In life, there are choices and trade-offs, okay? I don't want anybody who watches us to sit and think that the life we live is glamorous. We can do things from time to time that are glamorous, that are fun, that are luxurious. But for the most part, it's choices and trade-offs. And we have chosen to trade convenience for investment,
Yes.
right? When I tell you we live in the bush, your girl's from New York. I basically live on a farm, right? It allows my family to have a big sprawling house. Everybody can have their own personal space. Mom and dad can have the privacy they need as a younger married couple and stuff like that. But there's no Lyft, there's no Uber, there's no Uber Eats, there's no DoorDash. If you got to go somewhere, you got to jump in your car and go, and woe me unto you if you don't have a car. You got to catch a cab old school style. That sounds crazy to y'all, I know. Right? Our town is so little that the only name brand franchise that's here is Domino's. And Little Caesars is coming, I think.
Yeah, they're on their way.
Do we have restaurants? Yeah, we got restaurants and stuff. Half the people in the town don't even take the card. It's cash heavy here. That's how behind they are financially, as far as financial technology goes.
Yeah, and because we tried to spread the word of Bitcoin to the people, it's very hard.
They don't even understand debit cards.
Yeah, so it's hard to spread the word. And anybody who is actually interested, I refer them to Lori Bitcoin, who is in Mexico City, and she
can talk to you about the exchanges and stuff that you can utilize,
and
the hardware that works best.
And she has courses, and she has weekly podcasts that you can get into and see what she's talking about.
And I don't have Spanish at that technological level to discuss it. Like, we can discuss finance with you guys. But I'm not complaining. I love my life. I love the farm. I love we have cows. We have sheep. I don't like goats, and I don't like pigs. I don't have chickens either, Bam. I think they're mean. Cece's changing my mind about that a little bit, but I think they're mean.
You gotta read the comments.
I'm going to, but I do want to, make the point that you may have to take, serious steps in order to get the outcomes you are looking for to establish your own monetary policy. You may have to do things like you have to do this in order to kind of kick the can down the road so that you can do the things you want to do.
And let's be honest. I mean, come on, guys. You may have to do it and not reap the benefits, and it
for a while.
Not for you, for your children and your grandchildren. You might not even see it, right? If you take an opportunity to go somewhere and do something, and it takes you a while to get it going, and you're not there to see the benefits, that's selfish for people to not do something that could help your generations because you won't ever see the benefit, so you'll stay where you can see the benefit for you. Because that's how people think. United States is about consumption and stuff like that. You might have to do something, especially depending on your age, that will be for your grandchildren, and you might not see it when your grandchildren can see it.
Right.
But what happens is your grandchildren will hang a picture of you above the fireplace and say, "This is the person who started and built
this
this."
empire for us.
And then the selfish people, what happens is you will, what would you say?
Had squandered it and then died.
Died and nobody will ever remember you. And so, it depends on what men out there, who about the business are thinking about legacy, right? It's not about being selfish and me getting everything I can right now. It's about legacy. It's about legacy of my children. I have a child named after me. I have a child named after my father, right? So that's legacy. My father and his father, so my child is a third. So his father and his great grandfather and his grandfather won't be here to see the things that he can reap out of the world that I was taught from them, right? But they sacrificed to do that so that their progeny can see better, but they won't be here to see it. So, it depends on how your mindset is.
But you gotta get to the idea of choices and trade-offs. A lot of people are selling this fabulous, glamorous lifestyle of travel and food and luxury and this and that. And I say, cool, right? But what you're not showing them is the late nights where you're sitting up planning, the failures that it took for you to get to the glamour, the luxury, and all of that other stuff, right? Big, beautiful, sprawling house, big, beautiful farm, animals, house full of children. It's a shitload of work that goes into this.
Over
Right?
the course of years and years and years.
Just a lot of work.
Over the course of decades.
When he says it gets up at 4, that's not a euphemism. That is literal. So from 4 o'clock in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night, we are up planning, plotting, being strategic, being methodical, working, assessing, analyzing, scrapping stuff, adding stuff. When we talk about a 12-week year, we are literally getting almost 4 years of stuff done in a 12-month period. And that is a lot of work. It's a lot of work for people to get a glimpse of the weekend that we did have some type of glamour, or the weekend that was kind of luxurious. But you don't see the weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end of the choices and trade-offs that are being made. Now, I joke about the 2 things on my Amazon cart, but that's some real shit, right? When you're talking to somebody about how much they shop at Amazon, it's 2 things a month. You get 2 things. You get 2 things. And even the kids now are like, I want one nice thing, and I'm gonna forego the second thing. It's like, okay, cool. Because Simon is like, this is our economic policy. This is what we're sticking to. This is the plan. And this is what's going to get us the very best outcome.
And because we've been around a long time, nobody needs anything. People
No, not in this house.
People just adding on.
Not in
to
this
what
house.
they got. I need a new pair of shoes to the other 13 pair of shoes I got. Right? It's just adding on. It doesn't make sense. It's like, man, add on.
How many steaks are you going to eat? How many times are you going to go to Mr. Chow's? Jay-Z asked.
Add on to the ounces. Don't add on clothes.
Yeah.
Shoes you don't wear every day.
Right. I'm not in the city. Mexico City. Could we afford to live there? Yeah. But you know what? You're eating into that ratio where you wanted to invest.
Yeah.
So your 70-30 ratio is now more like
50-50 might go. 40,
I don't even,
60.
I was going to say 40-60, but 40 investments, 60 lifestyle. Whereas here it's 30% lifestyle, 70% investment. We have 4 children. Let me say that again. I squeezed 4 human beings out of my body. We have to take care of them. They are going to have human beings come from them. And we as parents want to do better than before us in understanding that we brought you here. We have an obligation to you. We will not allow you to suffer and struggle in life because we raised you properly. So it's not like we didn't raise you properly, you're going to squander everything.
Yeah.
We are consciously nation building, consciously nation building. And these are some of the
I put
points.
it in my box.
Oh, okay, babe. Pause. We are constantly nation building and working consciously towards building something that is going to be deposited into a collective consciousness. So when they come into the world, they're going to come into the world with a growth mindset. They're going to come into the world wealth conscious, and they're going to come into the world and be productive.
Yeah.
We are raising productive human beings.
And they'll be educated on stuff that weren't educated on.
Okay.
In high school. So let's get these
So, cousin Shango, so the screen sharing is all Ruth's fault. No, I'm not saying it's Ruth's fault. I'm just saying I don't know why it doesn't work for me. I have to sit down. There's something wrong I'm doing. I have to figure it out. I'm attracted to intellect over most physical aspects, and Lynn has a lucky MFN husband. That's so funny. Cousin Shango says Social Security is a nice little joke. Cryptonomics. I'm about to get into commodity futures because that's where the real money's at. Eggs, soybean, cotton. Did you see cocoa went up, Cryptonomics? I was like, really? Cocoa? I know coffee, but cocoa? Let Freedom ring. You telling the truth. Grocery prices out of control. Muzz is going to start rioting here shortly.
The brakes.
Oh, watermelon sounds good as hell. Tino Bino's been eating his dad's watermelon all evening, and then when dad goes to eat, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
According to the CPI, so long as you don't eat meat, poultry, fish, pork, or use electricity or gasoline, you're doing great.
There we go.
Um,
That's your CPI.
Shango crazy. I'm just waiting to hear that they're cutting VA disability and military pension
where's
increases.
Sean
I don't think they're gonna do that. Sean went out on a date with Brenda. He'll be home in a little bit,
Yeah,
okay?
no worries.
Yeah.
I'm in Killer, California right now. Wow, Shango, you're in California? He was living in Fort Lewis, Washington before the homelessness thing, and it's getting bad. The Treasury and the Fed keep pooping out money, inflating the dollar, making it all but impossible to actually live. And it doesn't help that the nations who used to settle their payments in dollars, those dollars used to be part of our economy. If they're dumping it, they're no longer part of our economy. When we did the last show, did you say it was hundreds of billion you quoted?
260 billion
Yeah.
was a transaction without one U.S. dollar between BRICS, and that they're using their own local currencies,
Yes.
and so
But them dumping it means that
they're
money
dumping
is,
it.
it's a contraction in the
So
market.
there's an article I didn't read, but they're dumping the dollars to get gold.
Yes, they're getting metric tons of gold. There's 62 people in the room. We're at the hour and a half mark. We're gonna wrap this up in a minute. Social Security news is crazy, sobering, stacking more and more. Yeah, the Colonel been stacking too.
Yeah.
Cousin Shango said, remember when we were expected to leave the house at 18? Now people are living 3 and 4 generations deep. We had a name for it. It's like co-economics or something like that.
Yeah.
They had a name for it. I can't remember it now. People have to sleep and eat in shifts, basically, because there's not enough room in the home. Crypto Root Podcast is thirsty for some watermelon. Our watermelon has seeds too, cousin. Who is that? That's Cryptonomics talking to Rue. But our watermelon has seeds too. That baby been tearing it up. His little face is all red. Junior cut it up for Tino to eat. The Colonel, are you worried about your military pay getting tampered with? Imagine they'll cut us first, like increasing the criterion for getting a disability rate. They will increase the criterion because everybody and their mama was getting disability, but everybody and their mama were also war veterans who were in active theaters. So I don't know that they're gonna mess around with your stuff right now because the people of the United States are still pretty military minded, right? Like they have a profound respect for the military. So I don't know that they're gonna mess with your stuff first. They'll cut EBT, they'll cut Section 8, they'll cut like those programs first before tampering with Department of Defense personnel.
What happens? And
And
I'm not
pension.
saying this will happen, but you guys know history. What happens when you tamper with the military?
People don't join anymore?
Nah, in smaller countries, you get a coup.
Yeah, you will get a
military
coup. Yeah.
So you don't tamper with the military. Because if they turn on you, don't tamper. I'm not saying that's something that can happen, but
Cryptonomics, how did a New York City girl end up in the bush of Mexico? That should be a stream all on its own. Messing around, being in love with people, that's how I ended up here.
you can stay in Queens
He's
if you
got
want.
great vision, right? And I gotta run with it because the bigger and the crazier the vision, the better the outcome I typically have. So yes, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. My husband literally changed my life. Changed my life. And he changed my life because he was able to change my perception of things. And that's important. I guess I'm what you would call like a sapiosexual person. His intellect, he's always trying to pour, knowledge and let me teach you this, let me show you that, let me help you see it a different way. And that's really how he frames it. Let me help you see this a different way. And when he was able to really demonstrate and explain choices and trade-offs, that's why y'all hear me use the term all the time, right? He's basically imparting in me, Aaron, you have to make the choice to trade this convenient thing in for this beneficial outcome.
Right.
And no matter what it is, it's always some type of convenience. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever example he's using, real world example, it's always some type of convenient thing that I don't think I necessarily need and I won't die without for a substantial beneficial outcome.
Yeah.
And he talks to me about the outcomes that I have versus my counterparts, even my married counterparts, right? So forget the single ones. They're invisible to me and I'm invisible to them. But the married counterparts, he says, your life, you don't live like them and they don't live like you. But in order for that to ring true, you have to walk that talk. You have to come to a point where in your mind, you understand that this choice and trade-off is going to garner you a substantial beneficial outcome. Now, will you get that outcome right away? Baby, no. I'm going to try to make it as comfortable as possible in the discomfort, but you're not going to get the outcome right away, but you will get the outcome. So I live in the bush. It's a big, beautiful house, though, right? It's 8 bedrooms, whole bunch of bathrooms, lots of cleaning. He makes sure that I have a domestic staff to help me keep it clean, like we like it. The children have their own personal space. They're not trying to strangle one another. It's a great experience for them. It's a great experience for me. But the mindset of what do you get in the city? Nothing but trouble. That's why New Yorkers are mean, cold, obnoxious, angry, because they all live one on top of the other. I'm on top of a mountain, under a pyramid. There's a choice and there's a trade-off. Do you need Uber? No. Why? Because you have your own car. So who cares if you don't have Uber? Do you need something DoorDash to the house? Because if you want, I'll go get it for you, baby. You just got to tell me what you need. Just little things. Just see it just a little bit different. You will be inconvenienced, but I guarantee you a substantial
What happens
beneficial
is,
outcome.
in that conversely, you will be convenienced if you do things with intention. That's what I said. When you go somewhere and if you think you're going to be somewhere, make sure you get in with people of influence, especially in a small town. People of influence, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether it's the mayor, large business owners. You have to get in with people of influence. So then now you can make phone calls, right? You know how people can make phone calls and be like, I need a favor. We could make a phone call. We could make a phone call and be like, hey, we need this. And they'll be like, I got you. They'll take care of it.
Right.
And so that is a good thing because in a large city, you can't just know the mayor.
This is true.
You can, but it's a fight. I know because I've been done that with in the city of Cincinnati. It's a fight. It's a fight. You got to try to know people of influence and know the police commissioner and know like, hey, if something's going wrong, you call the police commissioner and make sure like, hey, and he smooths everything out. And that's a great trade-off right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The mayor is our neighbor. He's right down there. You drive down the
Walking
hill.
distance.
Drive down the hill, you make a left, and his house is right there with 24/7 police detail.
Mm-hmm. And they know us. They know us by name.
In the gated community. And we had a problem one time and we went knocked on the mayor's door like, hey, this is a problem. Mm-hmm. He said, I'll take care of it.
That's all he said. He says, I can assure you by tomorrow morning this will be taken care of.
And he took care of it.
And I'm sorry. And it did. The Colonel, Bitcoin Shango, yes, I'm choosing to operate in the worst case scenario. That's exactly how everybody should be operating. as though the worst case economic scenario could possibly happen to them, so that they can prepare for that, so that they're prepared if that worst case scenario, that economic winter, which is coming, does, appear at your doorstep. Um, Cousin Ruth said I am, bro, with the watermelon, right? Cousin Shango, that's why I accepted.
Stay hydrated.
That's what I accepted with my Bitcoin stack, that I wouldn't see it completely manifest. But them babies will get to.
Yeah.
Yep, we're looking at our third generation as well, our great grandchildren. Let freedom ring, like living on a Bitcoin, gold, and silver standard outside of the fiat system. You have to establish your own economic policy.
Yeah.
There's 64 people in the room at the 1 hour and 40-minute mark.
And I'll say something, I spent a lot of time, like she said, trying to get us here to this point that
It took about 2 years just for us to prepare for Mexico. About a year and a half.
No, remember we was going to Ecuador and I had to readjust. I had to readjust real quick.
But I mean, okay, that whole process.
The whole process took 2 years. Okay. I had to readjust. And I'm glad that we did, because apparently Ecuador turned into a mess.
It destabilized like just a month or two after we got here.
Like, dang, man, we didn't go. But what I will say is what she was talking about, that we have spent time, blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. For me, it's like my pinnacle. I ain't saying I'm not trying to do other things, but I'm just so tranquil and happy in the situation I am. I'm just happy, that we made. It's like, it's just celebration, and we did a lot. Now, letting it, next goal is just really getting the kids raised and getting them, situated. But for me, I don't want too much more out of life. I don't want a Lamborghini like this, like Bitcoin, the old Bitcoin. I don't want all that stuff. I just want. We had over 300 days of the sun this year.
And all of the extra things that people typically like to spend on, we put away, right? I tell you, we drive something as simple as a Pathfinder. You think we couldn't drive a nice Cadillac Escalade? Seats the same, except the maintenance is crazy
a little bigger.
on one versus the other. Nissan's easy. Anything needs to be fixed. We're not dipping into our coffer in order to fix it.
Yeah, I mean.
Right? That's something I just reach in my purse, go ahead and fix this, fix it. We needed a whole new transmission.
Yeah, by the great American poet. What's his name? What is that dude's name?
We'll quote it, and
He's
I remember.
a poet. He's a poet. I think his name is Nasir Jones. By the time you can afford it, the car ain't important. So, you got to check out that poet right there, because it's real. Like, oh, man, I can get something. And you're like, but why?
Right.
But why? Nah, yeah. But 20 years ago, you would have did it like, oh, yeah, I'm getting that.
And that's why when I do talk to young ladies about marriage and the value in marriage, and, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. And I'm like, he changed my life. He tells me what to do. I don't know what to tell you. And when I say he tells me what to do, it's not even like, most husbands aren't obnoxious when they ask you to do something or where they want to do something. Now, his economic policy is pretty stiff.
So let's do it like this. Pause. So let's do it like this. Yeah, we're going to use a sports reference, right?
Okay.
So if I say, nobody's telling you what to do, because people will take that the wrong way. So if you think about football, maybe I'm quarterbacking it, and she's performing, right?
Pause.
Well, I'm just saying, I tell you, hey,
Still
go Joe Burrow, he gonna tell Jamar Chase, boom, 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 Jamar Chase gets the glory, right?
And he's open 24/7.
There you go. Well, that was Chad, but I guess he's open.
No, Jamar Chase was the one who said he opened like 7-Eleven.
That was Chad. Come on.
Didn't Chase say that? Chase said that. It's a tweet. I can pull a tweet up.
But who made it open?
I'm sure Chad started it, but Chase did say that. Aaron and Gordon, that hyperinflation tsunami is making more and more sense. I don't know if tsunami is the right word. Tsunami is going to feel like a little wave at the beach compared to like what's really happening as all of that offshore money comes back.
Look up hyperinflation, because there's a very specific term of hyperinflation. I want people to know.
The wiki?
Yeah, just be wiki, Wikipedia, smart. We do say that in the movie.
Yeah. How about Investopedia?
Oh, okay. Uh,
More than 50% a month.
There we go. So people throw the word hyperinflation around pretty loosely, but what it is 50% inflation month over month over month over month. So that when you get to that type of inflation, oh man,
It's gonna
it's
be
in trouble.
bad.
So, but people say hyperinflation. It's not hyperinflation yet. You feel it if your gas price went up 50% every month, and if your oil, I'm not oil, eggs,
Yeah,
bread,
groceries.
groceries went up 50% per month. That's hyperinflation. That's when you know the dollar's dying.
The Colonel, Cryptonomics said Haiti has a coup going on right now.
Yeah, they do.
The Colonel said, I remember Miles Franklin explaining how hyperinflationary tsunami will come from the east.
Yep.
Cryptonomics, Haiti has another coup going on. Geez, yes. Good story. It's even more miraculous you found a black woman to follow and believe in you and follow your plans. Salute the two of you on that.
Who
A
said
lot.
that?
Cryptonomics. You know, Cryptonomics be thinking I'm a modern woman. I'm like, I'm really not.
No, so
Hubby said we ain't gonna do it. I don't even argue with him.
well,
I'm
no,
like, okay,
but
babe.
I
We ain't
mean,
gonna do it.
so
I don't even argue.
you know, we always try
Sometimes
not.
I beg though.
Yeah, we try not to make it like a relationship show, even though sometimes we want to,
Can I have it?
because it needs to be. But
No, because the women will be hating me because I
It needs to be.
capitulate to the man
But
to
no,
give me
no.
the best beneficial outcomes I could have as a woman. I don't know how many different ways to say how I live isn't glamorous
Yes, it
and
is.
luxurious. It's not love and hip hop glamorous and right to young women they wouldn't like that.
We went out to eat today, and she's dressed
I got dressed up for my man.
looking like young Tina Turner, got her thighs out and everything.
Yeah, I got dressed up for my baby.
Got people staring at her, and I'm like,
We
I just
Because my son is actually going on a date. I tried to catch a little hot date with him in the middle of the day.
I don't do anything about it. I mean, if you're gonna look, you're gonna look. It's all good. I
But
can't do
it's for
nothing
you to
about
look.
it. As long as it's respectful.
I'm supposed to be your third strap.
But everybody.
But
Everybody
Cryptonomics,
looking.
point being that
No, the
sitting
point-
at his feet and being mentored by him has changed my life in a way that I feel like I have the highest quality of living. I don't even know that if I had to fathom the highest quality of living, that I could do better than what my husband provides me with his visionary ideas and the discipline that he's taught me. I have pretty good discipline, but he had to tweak it a bit.
But what I was trying to get to Kryptonite, I got sidetracked. But what I was saying is, I met her and I caught her, if you will, is that
Early.
early. I caught she was 19. So, you know, I am a big proponent, and I'm not a dating coach, some kind of relationship expert. I am a big proponent of, when you get together with people, get together early. Your high school sweetheart, maybe somebody you met in college.
Be my military
and
sweetheart.
Yeah, military, met in the Air Force, and she was 19.
Which would be college.
She was 19. I was 21. We were very young. You don't get a lot of baggage and gook and stuff, and then we just went from there.
I wasn't, I'm not set in my ways.
And so no, I understand what you're saying. If you're just trying to find somebody out here on the fly,
At 40, it's gonna be difficult.
yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
But all in all, my husband changed my life,
Yeah.
and I have excellent outcomes. But he makes it very, very clear, and I've experienced it now, that those outcomes that we are looking for as women, they come with choices and trade-offs, and you have to have that growth mindset in order to enjoy, right, the excellent beneficial outcome.
Yeah.
So, and that delayed gratification, because it took us, we've been here 7 years now,
Yeah. Okay.
total.
Yeah, total.
It took us about 3.5, almost 4 years to get to where we are now.
Yeah, catch our footing, catch your footing, figure out where you're gonna be, what you're gonna do.
And the sacrifice,
yeah,
the choices,
the
the
community
trade-offs,
you had
the
to do
work
it. You
that
had to-
had to be done, the ability to be coachable, the ability to be teachable, the ability to listen without opinion, right?
And understanding, we had to roll our children into that because it's just we're
Mm-hmm.
not just rolling as a couple. We have children.
But I think when your wife, because I'm the nation builder.
Yeah.
So if mom is with dad's program, we trust mom. Not to say they don't trust you, but you understand what I'm saying. If mom's doing it, then we can do it too.
Yeah.
But you have problems in the household when mom is like, "We not doing that." The kids are like, "Well, why do we have to do it if you're not going?" That kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? They're willing to sacrifice if they see that we are willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, but they got everything in the world.
But in a sense, they have everything in the world because we spend a significant amount of time sacrificing. That's my point. Because if we didn't sacrifice, they wouldn't be able to have half of that stuff.
No, and I mean, not
So
just,
you can kind of see the feedback cycle that gets started.
and see what happens is, and I'm not banging on my brothers or nothing, but what happens is when you get in a situation like this, you have a family, you got a wife, you have 4 children, 4 sons, things like that. You have to make yourself the last priority,
Yes.
right?
And that's part of the mentoring, right?
Everybody
Just
has
understanding this is
everybody
a team.
got to get what they need to get first.
First.
And then if you need something, then you're like, all right, I get it now. But it's not like you need something and you're like, oh, but the money would be better spent dispersed amongst the family.
And sometimes you say the money would be better spent, invested, and
Yeah.
that's just how it goes.
I'm
right?
a very simple man at this point in my life. So I don't really need anything. I mean, you need your normal stuff. Look, I need some soap, some deodorant, and stuff like that. But I don't need anything. So
No.
if somebody needs some shoes or something like that, somebody need a new phone, because somebody always will need a new phone. If somebody needs a new TV for their birthday, because somebody got a TV for their birthday.
Tino Bino.
So
So
they
he could do his own YouTube. He's amazing with that thing too.
Yeah.
Cryptonomics says, especially from a black man. My black man is a visionary. He's the CEO of this household. I have incredible outcomes from, like I said, he changed my life. And couldn't nobody take that away from me. My husband changed my entire life. It sounds crazy, but my husband also taught me or helped cultivate me to be the best woman I could possibly be, because in my mind, what is a better way to be the best version of a woman than to have a man help you understand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what you need, what you want, how you want it, right? And I may not be the best woman for the guy out there, but I'm absolutely the best woman for him. So I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and just for his earlier comment, metaphysically, you get out of these.
Oh yeah, Nasir Jones. He said, "What's that poet's name?" Oh yeah, Nasir Jones. Laugh out loud.
There you go. Then you get out of these densely urban populated areas, and you get to some place like where we're at in the bush, as Cryptonomics mentioned. Man, it's clarity. It's clarity. You're 10,000 feet above sea level. The
We
air,
are 10,500 feet above sea level.
the air is different.
Air is different.
No smog. The sky is blue.
We live under a pyramid, so the ley lines beneath the house.
Yeah, you go out there, you take a deep breath, right? You go out there, you ground yourself on soil.
And your spiritual eyes wide open because of the ley line.
Yeah, because when you get in those cities, and I know because we go to Mexico City,
Montana
which is like
gets
New York
clogged
City,
up.
it's about the same. It's bigger than New York City, right?
Yes.
And it's just horns, it's noise all day long, loud music. You get into your Airbnb, though the Airbnb may be nice
And
luxurious, but it's a lot of stuff. You hear people.
It affects your
upstairs,
antenna.
Yeah, it messes you up to the point where you're like,
I'm ready to go home.
there you go. Exactly. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go
Cousin
home.
Shango said that his family looks at him like he has lobsters crawling out of his ears when he says, "I like to be able to afford an 8-bedroom mansion." They would consider this a mansion. It's just a Spanish colonial. It's just a large, beautiful house. Like we have that term in America, but it's an 8-bedroom house. I think there's 12 bathrooms because there's like 2 back in the utility room.
I don't know.
But because we don't use those bathrooms back there in the utility area.
No, I shut them down.
The two living rooms, the classroom.
Well, let me
The
tell you
suites.
something.
But it don't cost anything. But it doesn't cost anything because it's in the middle of nowhere, Bitcoin Shango. You got to understand that. When I say it's in the middle of nowhere, The only name brand franchise we have in this Pueblo is Domino's. There's no McDonald's, there's no Burger King. We have plazas and stuff like that, just one movie theater.
And you get, and you know, an important take. You have to be very when you go out here and you could get the arbitrage in these areas that she speaks of these very small areas. One of the main things that you have to take into consideration is your health and your health needs.
Yes.
Because
Because the hospital gonna kill you here.
yeah, if you don't like, if you have some kind of chronic health problem,
You need to be in the city.
you need to be closer to the city. If you're young and you're relatively healthy, you could be out in some of these places like that we are in, but you don't want to be out here. You have cardiac issues, things like that.
And we worked in healthcare for 15 years. So
Yeah.
before I moved into tech, I worked in healthcare with him.
Yeah, everybody's.
So we're able to mitigate a lot of things because of our healthcare background.
Yeah, yeah.
We often play doctor. Um,
Yeah, we play doctor. Worst thing I got going on, bitch. So who was that? Bitcoin Shango? Who said that?
his family looks at him like, that's Shango, that's cousin Shango.
But what I will tell you is this to the audience: you spend your whole life working hard, and you want to do these things, and you say, "Oh man, I want to get this big, whatever 7, 8 bedroom. I don't know how many bedroom house, right? With all these floors and all these square feet, and then you realize that you got bad knees,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Dang."
So our bedroom
Hey,
suite
I hate
is,
going downstairs.
our bedroom suite could be like a little mini apartment, and Sean's is like that too,
Yeah, man.
luckily. So hubby can be upstairs for days without having to come
No,
down
because
here.
now I'm
Other
just,
than to leave the house.
no, that I'm calling the kids all day long because I
We
don't
need
feel
an
like,
intercom though.
I don't feel like walking down to the kitchen to get
Yeah.
a bottle of water.
Yeah, we need an
My
intercom.
knees hurt. They hurt bad, and you know.
I'm your niece though. I go down and get your stuff.
So now I want a flat.
And I'm
Is
smart
that-
now. I anticipate his needs, so I make sure there's ice water at the bedside at night. I treat it like a little Airbnb. I make sure he's got his little snacks because he gets up in the middle of the night. He only sleeps like 4 hours a day.
Then I walk
He gets up
around,
in the middle of the night. He's hungry.
and sometimes I walk around the house, and I'm like,
I make sure he has everything he needs before I lay down for mine.
I walk around the house, and I'm like, there's a lot of the house that's not really being used.
But all of it's being used.
I was just looking around.
The basement looks like Tino's toy box threw up in it, along with his room. They use all of the house. But it's in the middle of nowhere. It's 2.5 acres of land. That's why we have the animals. But I do have to pay that monthly fee for them to take care of the animals. We don't keep them here in the yard, right? They're cows and they're sheep. They have to be tended to 24 hours a day. Aaron should offer feminism classes. Let me tell you, Cousin Ruth, these young ladies, they don't want me talking to them. They get, as soon as I come in the room, they get upset. I do get that my husband is amazing. He knows how to lead and all of those other good things. But the trauma is just so hard and heavy. I can trust my husband, so I can be vulnerable. I literally sit at his feet and listen to him. Literally, like
Sometimes.
I sit down
Sometimes.
and I listen to you all the time. Here we are, running the show. Y'all think that, oh, Erin's so smart. She knows this, she knows that. Yeah, teach me all of this stuff before I can sit on here flapping my gums, talking to y'all about macroeconomics, microeconomics, 12-week years. My husband had to mentor me along this vein in order for me to sit up here and be a subject matter expert for you guys.
Yeah, and you know it's all for you guys. 12-week year.
And this
high
whole show's
productivity.
premise started because my husband was mentoring me.
Mhm.
And then the idea came up like, why don't we take our mentoring sessions and put it in front of the camera so that other people can learn
Okay.
and gain some of that. And that's really where the foundation of the show came from.
Yeah,
And then I just got so far along in my studies or in my mentorship that I'm able to co-host the show with him. But don't get it twisted. My husband has to mentor me all along this way. I am humble enough to say, this man changed my life. If it offends you, you giving the black man too much credit, and you are pick me, can't be a pick me, you've been married 23 years. So stop it. And you worship black men. I don't know about worshiping black men, but my husband changed my life. And when somebody changes your life, you feel a way about that.
Yeah, and you know,
You just feel a way about
like I
it.
said earlier, when we were kids when we got together, it's not like this was mid, I met her at 35.
Yeah, and we had
or
a regular
something.
marriage like
And
anybody.
then
We
we were
had our
20.
ups, we had our downs, we've been through it. We broke up, got back together. Like we had a real
But yeah,
marriage,
we
but
started the game early
changed my life.
with a little baby and a family in a small house.
And he gives me the
25
very
years
best
ago.
quality of living I think I could possibly enjoy. And nobody could ever take that away from me. And no angry Black woman could ever come into my space and talk me out of that. My husband changed my life. I listen to what he say. He can tell me what to do any day of the week because I know when my husband tell me what to do, I'm going to have the very best outcome. And I can put my money on that, Jack. I put my whole 401k on that. I will put every ounce of silver that I have in my name on that. When my husband tell me what to do, I get the very best outcome. And that's the end of that. So for all of the angry women, I'm sorry. I ain't trying to bring no trauma, but
You reading some
is it possible to get Aaron and Gordon silver coins? I want to mint my own coins, Colonel. I'll put Marvel character coins on pause. What y'all think? I would love to get some SFIV coins. You two are a power couple, and that's great. When Ma ain't trying to hear, try, etc., it's a long up here journey with square. I know when your partner is not on one accord with you, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
This is true. This is very true.
It's hard. It's very difficult. And when your husband don't want to buy you the thing in the Amazon cart that you want, it's hard. Pause. Back in the 80s, playing doctor meant something else. Well, we do that too, Colonel. We do that too.
I don't know.
But seriously, I do need to be close to a major hospital. Yes. So, like,
that's a serious
this scenario wouldn't work for you, and I wouldn't suggest it.
And Colonel,
that's not Colonel. That's Cousin Shango.
Cousin Shango. I mean, in a place like here, Mexico City does have major hospitals, but we're just out in the bush. But if things turn and you get a little older, you got to move closer to. I mean,
yes,
you got to do
need
what you
to
got to
be,
do.
and that premium, that luxury tax that you're paying is worth it, right? Because it's your life, right? I have seizures for the most part. They're not life-threatening. Like I said, we worked in healthcare for 15 years.
I understand.
Simon has trained my son.
I know we know how to
Sean.
handle it.
So outside of that, we're good. And Junior has asthma. We have our nebulizer. Mom makes sure there's at least 3 inhalers in the house.
Maybe.
Because somebody will go to practice and not know where his inhaler is. It's in the car, it's in his pocket, it's in the other book bag, it's on his dresser. So that's about it. Michelle gave us hearts.
Yes,
Cryptonomics. That message needs to be played on every platform to Black women, what I just said. They'll never play what I just said anywhere because that doesn't make them money. We are in one accord. We're in one household. The money is streamlined. I follow his economic policy. I follow his monetary policy. I follow his house policies. They would never air what I just said. They would never do it. Never. Because it doesn't make the money. They want me to take my money from the company I work for. They want him to take his wealth that he builds with his consultancy and the money that he's invested and live in 2 separate houses.
Yeah.
They want the kids to be back and forth and traumatized so that they establish multiple houses.
That's what they want.
And 2, the women are going to be mad at the idea that I can get on here and say my husband changed my life.
Come on, man.
They're going to say he's just controlling. You do whatever he tells you to. They're going to flip it on his head and turn it into something absolute. You're scared of him. They're going to turn it into all of these things that it's not, when it's simply, my husband did the research. He brought it to me. I was willing to listen, and it worked. He changed my life. That's the end of that.
Worked out over a couple decades.
Is it a perfect marriage? Hell no. Nobody's marriage is perfect. And I don't ever want people to think that, but a track record is a track record. A resume is a resume, right? The man's resume is solid, and I get the best outcomes. That's the end of that.
Yeah, and it's a version of low time preference. Just with the relationship, low time preference in investments, low time preference in relationship. And so you will get
Because it's
the
23
outcome
years
you
of
prepared.
marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we've been married. That's the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Shango, Mexico City has some of the best medical care in the world. Absolutely.
And including a VA if you are a veteran.
Yeah, they have a VA there
If you
too
are a
for you.
veteran.
I don't know how great the list is.
I was never crazy about VAs, but I mean, it's better than
Nothing.
nothing. But
But like I said, choices and trade-offs. And for some of you who really want to rewrite your economic policy, definitely sit down and start thinking about what you are willing to choose
Yeah.
to trade in exchange for the best substantial beneficial outcome. Why do I keep using that phrase? Substantial beneficial outcome. Because substantial lets you know that the blood, sweat, tears, and effort you're putting into this thing for however long you need to put it in, that outcome is real.
yeah, and for my people, because you people are speaking about I can't see it, man. I can never see
What,
stuff.
baby? What are you looking for?
It don't matter. I'll just go off the top. Needing healthcare and hospitals here. Conversely, when you go to certain places, I can't speak for everywhere, but I'll speak for here for now. I've been here 7 years. I lost 60 pounds in 7 years, and it takes away the comorbidities
Yep.
that add to some of your ailments. So when you come to another place like this, you can reduce some of the things and bring back and get your health back in order. And then you also in these kind of places deal with more natural
Foods,
health.
it helps keep it off.
The foods, but the natural health remedies.
Yes.
If you're willing to, you just bought soursop the other day, right?
I'm about a sour stop.
Tell me about soursop. Tell me about.
Let me go get it.
No, but tell me what. Tell me.
Oh, Dr. Sebi proved that soursop cures cancer. Junior, go get the soursop from the fridge, please.
Where's it illegal at?
In the United States. Junior, go
Sounds
get the
about right.
soursop in the fridge, please.
So you have some more healthy remedies, and that can also help you too.
The leaves of a soursop tree, if you steep the leaves and you have diabetes, that's nature's insulin. It's going to bring your sugar down. It'll also bring down your blood pressure if you have high blood pressure. If you steep the leaves of the soursop tree, they have natural moringa here. You just get and when I say get the leaves, like when you go to the market, that lady just grabbed them leaves off the tree, stuck it in a garbage bag, weighs it, and hands it to you. Bring me the soursop.
Yeah, when you get the juice of the agave, that gives you it's
a soursop.
Brings down your blood pressure too.
And this fruit, Dr. Sebi proved in court that it cures cancer. It tastes like, for those of you who never had soursop, this is a Caribbean thing. It just tastes like the meat of a mango, but it's got like a citrusy feel to it, like it has like a lime orangey taste. It's weird, right? Because your mouth is like, this tastes like this, this feels like that, but it's soft, as you can see. It's soft, it's spiky, so you have to be careful. The children don't like handling it because it's spiky. It kind of looks like an apple a little bit, right? Or a pear maybe. But Dr. Sebi proved in a court of New York City law, New York State really, that this cures cancer.
That's what he did.
It is absolutely illegal in the United States. I think you can do up to 4 years if you're caught with the natural fruit. One, because it's illegal there, and two, you're not supposed to bring agriculture across geographical boundaries.
There we go.
This was just, you can see it's bruised, literally fell off the tree. They sold it for like nothing. I think I paid about 30 US cents equivalent for this big fruit. I can eat this in about maybe 3 sittings because it's so big, it's hard to eat in one sitting because your stomach's about this big. So here, baby, put the soursop. The kids crushed Dad's strawberries, so he didn't get not one strawberry. It looked like Tino was answering to eat. Yes, you ate the strawberries. Because you didn't eat them, so they just saved them for you. The pineapple, I like to make him pineapple drink every day. He hasn't done it in a while though, but it helps to clean all of the stuff out your stomach, all of the mucus and everything. Because Dr. Sebi was big on mucus too.
And
but he loses weight because he does what he's supposed to.
Yeah, we're not trying to make it a health show and stuff.
Not a health show,
but we talk about fasting and things like that.
Cousin Rue, I don't know where you're gonna find the soursop from though, because it's
Where's he
illegal
at?
in the U.S. He's in Detroit.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's the leaves. It's the leaves. Come visit me, Cousin Rue. Stop playing. Come visit your cousins. You know Sean want to sit and chit chat with
He
you.
could probably sneak some leaves
And
on, but
then
not the whole fruit.
I have the leaves and stuff. I have moringa leaves for you
Moringa, yeah.
because y'all know I have seizures and you can hear when I forget things. I have to do the moringa tea to kind of get the recall system in my mind together.
It takes a while to switch over to maybe some natural, holistic type of things, but
Chat's going fast.
yeah. Once you get in there, I see the chats up there. Chat's heavy.
There is somebody in the room named John Mitchell. Thank you so much for joining our show, John. That's a new name for us.
John
He said,
Mitchell.
"Great show, you guys. You're dropping dimes.
So
Thank
let me
you."
go into this. I guess Aaron's not gonna want to hold you too much longer unless people have some comments that we need to address.
It's
But
11 o'clock and 64 people are still listening to us 2 hours later.
I want
I
to tell
think
you.
we're okay.
Okay. I want to tell you that this is our 149th episode. Okay.
140.
This is
Oh,
149.
that's my bad, y'all. I put 148. I be losing track. I have
Yeah.
seizures.
This
So
is
it's 149.
This is 149.
Sorry.
And so next up will be our 150th episode, which is it's a milestone, a small
150
small milestone.
episodes, mostly at 2 hours.
Yeah, and so to be honest, to go back on the journey, we didn't come here to start a podcast. I just, I had some contact with King Bless, and I said, when I go to El Salvador, I'll come back and I'll get on the show and we can talk about it and talk about our experience in El Salvador.
But when Bless presented the idea of the show to you,
Yeah.
you were like, what type of content will we do? And that's when I said to you, let's take my mentorship and just put it in front of a camera and see how they.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not a podcast.
And that's why too our show is very different than all of the other content
Yeah.
cousin shows, because that's really what it's based off of.
Yeah,
But I've gotten so far in my mentorship that now I'm able to kind of like drive from time to time, show content and stuff. I still have a lot to learn, don't get me wrong. And baby still has a lot of stuff on his agenda that he wants to kind of sit with me and teach me and tutor me in.
Yeah, there's different type of shows we could do. We try to, ask you guys best that we can for the feedback, the things that you might like to see, hear about.
And cousin L1L, I owe you a XRP update, so I'll make sure I go ahead and email you that information. The colonel's not crazy about VAs. We get it. We military too. And he prefers access to private practitioners anywhere in the world. Mexico City has some of the greatest medical care.
Do we have to tell him about that? Or I think we told him about that.
We talked to the colonel. We talked to the colonel personally.
Oh, okay. You got to pay up.
Yeah, we talked to the colonel
personally,
one-on-one. This is actually, he said he's VA eligible. It's actually very great news. You have to research that.
Yeah,
Bitcoin Shango, sour sop. So SOURSOP, sour sop. That's what we call it in the Caribbean. In Mexico, it's guanabana. I have to do the phonetics on that, but it's called guanabana. But sour sop is illegal in the United States. So it might be difficult for you guys to get that stuff. Come visit. Even if you say we're going to do a holistic week while we're there, Aaron, Simon and I are going to have all of the stuff you need, and we'll take you to the market, stuff like that. And that way you can start like fleshing it. This is not a health show, but we do, I gotta be sexy for him, so I try to keep the weight off, y'all. I'm too vain to say I keep it off for health. I don't.
You just stay,
Keep it off. To be
stay
sexy for my health.
hydrated. We eat a lot of fruits and vegetables.
And we drink a lot of what we call agua fresca, which is just fruit blended in a blender.
Then we drink that agave water.
He drinks the agave water, aka tequila, y'all. Cousin T. Willine is here. I shouted you out earlier in the show, love. Not true. I just bought some soursop at the farmer's market. Nice. Maybe it's not illegal anymore. Anyway, Dr. Sebi got hit with that because it was illegal. I'm just telling you what happened during this court case.
Yeah, it's been on about 20.
Okay, good. You guys can get soursop at the farmer's market. He mixed it with water and made juice. I just eat it. And it's so hard to get here. Like, they'll only have like 4, and we have to buy all 4 anytime they have it.
Yeah.
So,
Leaves are easier to get than the whole
no, Colonel T. Willine said he just got some from the farmer's market. The only reason I said it was illegal is because when I was watching Dr. Sebi's case, they charged him with having illegal contraband. So,
But that's been a
yeah, it's been a minute. So, but it's the leaves, the kernel. Eat the fruit, but the leaves is what you steep, and you're supposed to drink that twice a day. Once in the morning, once at night before you go to bed to control diabetes and hypertension. Yes, Let the Crypto Rule podcast. We'll set everything up for you. Bring some of your equipment, whatever you can. We'll set you up so you can do your show here. You know we got you. Soursop, got it. Good job. It's $30 a pound. I paid 30 cents for that one that I just showed you. And I bought two.
So they made it legal so they could beat you over the head.
Yeah, so I got two for less than $1. I'm so sorry to hear that.
You spent $30 on soursop?
That soursop is more than a pound. You saw how big it was?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You was just.
And I spent like 30 cents on it. Gordon, you're gonna need your own stash of food. Yes, let me tell y'all what Santino does. Tino Bino will come into Dad's room. Dad has a nice little table next to his papa chair that he's sitting rocking and think. And that's where the snacks be. That's where his little food be and stuff. Tino Bino will come up there. He'll play around a little bit, and then whatever snack he see is gone. Simon will turn around like, "Where's my crackers or whatever he had on there?"
I like to eat saltines, you know.
Tino Bino coming to get that.
They crush my saltines. And I had a salad the other day, and I don't eat fast. I eat a little bit, set it down. Eat a little bit, set it down. He just come looking at me like, "Can I have your?" I said,
"Can I have your salad?"
I said, "You can."
Mommy just fed baby a salad and put the hard-boiled eggs in it, so he ate his whole salad and then came and ate that salad. Yeah. It sounds crazy that the 6-year-old eats a salad, but he loves salad. He don't like tomatoes and onion, but he eat everything else. Yeah. Let Freedom Ring, love the health info. This is a great show. Thank you, Let Freedom Ring. That's why you've been with us like 140 shows. Yes. T. Willine, man for hire, where do you live? He's in St. Louis, y'all.
So, yeah, we might have something special for 150.
Sounds like a place that knows barbecue. St. Louis knows barbecue. Mexico City does not. As a matter of fact, on date nights, when we're in Mexico City, Simon takes me to a place that does Kansas City barbecue. And he hates Kansas City, so now we can't go that they won 2 Super Bowls.
Kansas City. I hate Kansas City Chiefs.
You know they're going to have the Chief stuff when you go in there in Porco Rosso.
I'm not going back.
He's going to have the Chief jersey and stuff in there.
I'm not going back till we take it over.
Texas knows barbecue, Colonel. Cousin Rue, yeah, I need to get down there. You know I'm gonna pick you up from the airport and get you settled, Cousin Rue, so stop playing.
It's rough down here, Cousin Rue. Are you ready? You ready for it? You ready? It's rough down here, Cousin Rue.
Okay, so you can get your soursop tea. You can get your soursop tea from your sis wherever she gets it. I heard it was illegal because of Dr. Sebi's court case. I'm glad y'all can find it. That's perfect. And when you come, maybe I'll get you a nice little Latina chica, Cousin Rue. T. Willine, Bitcoin, Shango Barbecue, not smoke. They got it twisted in San Antonio. I don't remember San Antonio having good barbecue. I just don't. John Mitchell, soursop and moringa are heavy hitters. Yes, good for your brain. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get a mule like Puffy. I'm gonna have to get a mule like Puffy to smuggle the stuff in. Don't do that because you see where Puffy's at right now, okay? And you're going to have to get one of them chicks from the streets if she's going to smuggle soursop in her good stuff. You saw how big that thing was? She got to be from the streets. You can get 100 soursop tea bags from Canada for $50.
Yeah, you got to go up north. Go up north.
Just come to Mexico.
Ain't nothing wrong with Canada. Ain't nothing wrong with Canada. You don't like Canadians?
No, it's just that it's $50.
I mean, that's
50 Canadian dollars? That's even worse. Because that's more than 50 US dollars.
I'm not sure. You have to check.
I got that big old thing for 30 cents. I bought 2 of them for 60 cents. That's nuts. And the leaves don't cost nothing. I don't know. Maybe they're like 200 grams of leaves. He didn't have leaves. No, he didn't. You got to go to Mexico City Market in order to get the leaves.
Yeah, he just had.
He just had the.
They had the fruit to the leaves.
Yeah, that's crazy. Avocados here that Cousin Shango's in California, so I know avocados
Yeah,
there are
that's
nuts.
crazy. Yeah,
They don't cost
good.
nothing here. They're giving it away
Yeah, we eat avocados all the time.
for
So.
like maybe $2 per kilo, and a kilo is 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, man. When I first got here, we had a house, a small 3-bedroom house. We was starting off, and we had 3 avocado trees in our backyard.
Yep.
And they just
Those
fall.
leaves also, avocado leaves, high blood pressure. I don't know about sugar, but definitely high blood pressure.
And they used to fall, and then
You got to dry them out.
the manager of the property, he would just come through, take them to the market, and then he would just bring me a bag, a whole bunch of avocados.
Yeah, we couldn't even eat them fast
And I'm
enough.
like, what am I supposed to do with
They
them? Like,
used
I
to
can't eat.
spoil.
I was like, so, and the kids didn't want to eat them.
We were putting them in everything, mashing them up, making guacamole.
Yeah.
After a while, Baby Cakes, his gums were starting to bother him, and I was like, that's too much then. But yeah, there were 3 avocado trees in the back. Limes grow wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was 3 avocado trees, and we had a pool, and we had this gated like community.
$310 a month.
With
Total.
3-bedroom house, and we was like, hey.
Total. $310 a month, and that was in
October 2017.
that was in
October 2017.
Guadalajara.
Guadalajara.
That was in this is a place called Ajijic. So we had a pool, 3-bedroom house. It was kind of tight though, kind of like more townhome looking or setup.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
where all of the living space was at the bottom, and then the bedrooms were at the top. 3 bedrooms, bathroom, had 3 bathrooms, and we had the 3 avocado trees, the pool, large backyard. $310 that included Wi-Fi, electric, water.
Good old days.
Right, even the house that I'm talking to y'all now, the car is included. We lease the car. And the car insurance and all of that stuff, we pay about $2,000 a month.
But I mean, you go to Grant Cardone. I haven't seen him.
$2,000 per month. That's
people,
everything.
People are they have. I don't want to rent. I want to own. But once you own something and then you can use it as an asset, then it gives you the ability to be able to rent.
Yes.
As you go on.
And the only thing I pay out of pocket is Wi-Fi. Y'all know I work in tech. So I need to have like 3-4 networks so that no network, if one goes down, it goes right to the other network and so on and so forth. $2,000 total.
Not even that.
And we don't, well, with the fluctuation, it's between 16 and 18 plus.
16, but not even that.
I think the last time we paid $18.95.
Oh.
So when I say 2,000, I'm rounding up, but for $2,000, people are barely getting 1-bedroom apartments in the United States. 2.5 acres of land. You just can't beat it. You can't beat it. And when you're high income earners, that is a drop in the bucket. There's just so much money that you can squander if you don't have somebody like this to be like, this is our economic policy.
Right,
and we're not going to divert.
And so people will get level set it. So you'll level set it because we are Bitcoiners, and Bitcoin is
everything. Bitcoin is life.
But it is real estate and cyberspace. So as long as you're getting your Bitcoin every month, you are paying on your real estate. All right. So you have a whole bunch of Bitcoin, then you have a whole bunch of real estate. We also had talked about in the show where you see investing in silver as also offsetting and investing in real estate. It'd be quite offsetting investing in real estate, while you may be renting. So,
right.
Go ahead. So
but we on way too long. There's 66 people in the room. Bitcoin Shango got to bounce.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining,
for
Cousin Shango. Cousin Rue, I got a cute Latina for you. She young though. And she's got a lot of feminist talking points. So I don't know. But she's beautiful. It's up to you about that choice and trade-off. But when you come, we'll take you around. We'll introduce you to people. We'll definitely do meetups. But, we'll get you from the airport and we'll get you situated because you just got to let me know what your travel arrangements are. And yes, we'll definitely get you set up so that you can shoot your show from here, from your cousin's house. We love y'all. I can't believe 66 people sat and listened to us talk for 2.5 hours. That's nuts. We appreciate y'all so much.
And 150 is coming up. 150.
Yes, we don't know what we're doing yet. But we want y'all to celebrate with us because that's also consistency. It's our community service. Hubby wants this to be community service. It's free information. We are not financial advisors, so this is not financial advice, but we are taking all of the research, blood, sweat, tears, effort, experiments that we've done, all of those things to help you faster and more easier kind of navigate in the world of wealth and how you can establish your own monetary policies and your own economic policies.
Yeah, definitely.
So we love y'all so
Well,
much.
I gotta say one last thing. Shout out to our good brother, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Tomorrow is his second anniversary of his death. Kevin Samuels was very inspirational in the community. I know a lot of people didn't like him.
The women
didn't like his message.
The women didn't like him.
But yes, shout out to Kevin Samuels tomorrow being his death anniversary.
And hopefully I can get an audience of young women who aren't gonna lynch me when I try to talk to them about relationships and stuff. Cryptonomics said, rest in peace to the Godfather. Yeah, you stay trying to turn me into a modern woman. Kevin Samuels would shake my hand if he met me. Let me tell you that now, Cryptonomics.
Yeah, rest in peace to the Godfather, man. He did a lot of things. I know it was rough, but it helped us out. Gave us a little ways, some things to look at and think about. So,
but we love y'all so
yes, indeed.
much. We
You guys
can't
very
wait
much.
to see y'all on the 150th show. Let freedom ring. I say this every show that you come on.
What's that?
Our longest supporter, I'm talking at least 140 shows.
Oh yeah, he go
Right, because he was with us from the single digits. And we appreciate you so much because it really did kind of sort of start with you as far as chatting and comments and stuff like that.
He go back before the live shows. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why I said single digit shows, like
back
episode
then.
7, stuff like that. He used to leave us nice comments
Those good shows back then.
on the YouTube. So thank you so much for being with us for so long. And we want to thank all of y'all. 66 people sat in the room and listened to us talk 2.5 hours. We can't tell you how much we appreciate you guys and the ability to let me share.
Let's her talk mostly.
Y'all want me to talk less? I'll talk less and see how your show go when I talk less. But we love y'all so much. We appreciate y'all so much. Cryptonomics, thank you so much for those news updates. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining, because when you're not here, you know I miss you. Shout out to Courtney. I haven't seen Courtney in a while. We miss you too, sweetheart. Cousin Mo was on. He doesn't talk much, but we appreciate him coming on. Cousin Tony Blunt wasn't on here today.
Tony.
T. Willine did show up. I shouted him out earlier in the show. Y'all are our cousins. When you're not here, we notice, and we really appreciate your support. We love you guys. And one of the things that separates our show from everyone else's show is that we are talking to you and with you, right? You guys are talking to us, we're talking to you, and it feels like a little mini family reunion. So as the first family of Bitcoin, from our house to yours, we love y'all. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, mañana. Lots of salsa dancing, lots of tequila, and we'll see you on our 150th show.
Mamba